Rhonda, how are you, sis? How are you this Sunday afternoon? Did you ever get your extended, did you get back to the extended stay? How'd that work out for you? Had a little family drama, girl, but I'm okay. I am okay. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm trying to do my breathing exercises. But I'm okay. I'm surviving, you know. Family drama at the most. But other than that, I went to church today. I had a good day, pretty much. I had a decent day. A little family drama here and there. But, you know, comes with the territory of my life right now. Kind of comes with the territory of my life right now. You know, I just got to, like I was saying in the beginning of all my debacles of my life, in the last 2 years, I have to let time heal itself. You know what I'm saying? I have to let time heal itself. Once more time goes by, half of this crap that I'm going through will be a thing of the past. I'm trying to next month. Okay. Just family stuff. Stupid stuff. Just dumb stuff. I go to church with my sister, so I saw her today in church and she looked at me and gave me some little nasty attitude. And I'm just like, y'all church people, and I don't even consider myself a church person, right? I go to church, but I'm not a church person like that. You know what I mean? I just go on Sunday. But I just be wanting to blast people that go to church so bad because they think that they're better than the next person that's over here going through. And she gave me a dirty look today when I asked her something. Sis, I'm not even thinking about what we had the other day, our little debacle we had. I'm past that. I'm being a grown woman and I asked you a question. All you had to do was answer it. You didn't have to give me no attitude. So she was in church looking at me, giving me little dirty looks. I'm like, you supposed to be a Christian girl? You and your husband sitting up here faking jacks? But that pissed me off today. Really, really pissed me off. I had asked her a question about something. And she kind of like looked at me and gave me a look like, get out my face. You know what I'm saying? She gave me that get out my face look. And I was just like, wow, okay. This is why I don't bother with y'all. I guess she was looking at ways. I don't think they even cared if I didn't show up for Thanksgiving. But see, they go around in my household and they say why I haven't been around for years. Hello, I've been a single mom all my life. So have you ever thought about maybe the single mother was out working 3 jobs? You know what I'm saying? I don't have the comfortable life that you have, that you run around chasing men and you get men to, you know, marry you and they take care of you and you leaning on a man, which is nothing wrong with you leaning on your husband, but you've never had to go through the stuff that I went through. You couldn't even imagine my life. Yeah, I really let it roll off my back today. I was breathing and I was doing these exercises of not thinking about it. Because there's really nothing I could do about anything that's going on, but just remove myself, you know, remove myself from the situation. That's all I can really do. I don't want to leave my church though, but today we went to like another church. We visited like another church, and it was a big church, and it was kind of like confined. It was too many people in there, but I had a good service. You know, it was a nice church service. The church was so loud. It was kind of like a modern church, so they had the jumbotrons on the wall and they were singing, but it sounded like their sound sounds a little weird because it was so loud you couldn't hear people. It was so loud and the sound was so there that you couldn't hear what they were singing half the time. I'm just like, this church is a big church. I think it's like a medium big church. It wasn't like a mega church or anything, but it was a big church, bigger than our church. So they were singing and stuff like that, and I could barely hear what they were saying. So I guess y'all need to have the surround sound a little bit more tighter that people can hear you. So I couldn't really hear that well from, you know, the choir singing. And there was this guy in front of me. He was tall. He had to be like 6'3". And I'm trying to look at the stage, and I can't see the stage because this man is literally standing in front of me, and I'm annoyed by that. So I was like, oh my God. But I had a good church service. Hello, how are you, Hazel? Your name Hazel? So I'm just gonna live stream for probably the next hour or two and just, you know, head back to the shelter at my time, and nothing else much more I can do. had Panda Express tonight. I really didn't even want to get it, but I don't have a choice. You know, I gotta eat what I can eat. Gotta eat something. I had Panda Express, and then I went back to Planet Fitness because I had to go to the bathroom. So thank God for Planet Fitnesses. When you are like in my position, homeless or whatever, thank God for Planet Fitness, because Planet Fitness be saving lives, honey. This Planet Fitness in this particular town that I'm in right now, they stay open 24 hours some nights. So, and you don't really find too many Planet Fitnesses around that stay open 24 hours like they used to. So I think after COVID, a lot of these gyms just stopped staying open at late. So you can find some Planet Fitnesses, it depends on what state or town you're in. Some of them will stay open 24 hours. It might be 7 days a week. It could be a couple days a week, but that Planet Fitness I went into was really, really clean. It was extremely clean. I'm like, somebody else must own this one. I think different people own different Planet Fitness franchises. I guess they're franchises, right? I guess certain people must own a certain amount of Planet Fitnesses. I don't know how that works, but this one, it was like state of the art. It was different. It was big. It was cleaner. It was like, it had an upstairs to it. I'm like, oh snap, I never seen a Planet Fitness with no upstairs. I mean, I know some Planet Fitnesses that are smaller, you know, it depends on what town you're in. I'm good, I can't complain. Hello, how you doing? I'm good, everybody. Hope everybody had a good Sunday afternoon. I went to church today. Had a good service. Can't complain. I really just want to go to sleep right now. I gotta take off my makeup. I should have did it when I was in Planet Fitness, but I didn't. Tomorrow is Monday. I'm off tomorrow, but of course I got things that I gotta do on my last. I only get one day off throughout the week. I wish I was off like maybe Monday and Tuesday. I'm trying to drink this freaking water because I feel like I'm so dehydrated. I feel so dehydrated and dried out. Yeah, everybody got their Christmas lights up now. Everybody getting their lights up, the red, white, and blue. Some people got the old-fashioned Christmas, you know, from back in the 90s. That old-fashioned, that's the kind of Christmas I like, the old-fashioned vibes of Christmas, not this new Christmas stuff. When I was in my apartment, I would put my Christmas tree up I would put my Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving. Like before Thanksgiving, like a week or so before Thanksgiving, I would have my tree up already. Yep. But my life has changed, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm going to go back to when I get me a new place. I just like to focus on probably just Thanksgiving. Everything else with Christmas and all that stuff, I don't feel the same way I used to feel about it anymore. I don't feel the same. Are you able to do everything needed with one day off? Yeah, I can get stuff done. I just, if I had 2 business days off, like maybe Monday and Tuesday, it would be better. But then it would mess me up with church. So I do like to go to church on Sunday. So I guess Sunday works, but Sunday is not a business day. I can't. But I try to get everything squeezed in on Mondays. And sometimes if I have a doctor's appointment or something, or like a dentist, I got some dental work that I need to get done. And it's a lot that I got to do. And sometimes my dental appointments, they don't even do certain things on Mondays, so I have to jam a lot of things in on Monday. Then when I make appointments, I mean, I'm not unhealthy, but I have a lot of dental stuff that I need to get done inside my mouth so I can fix my smile. But no, not really. A lot of dental stuff is like, oh, we only do this on Tuesdays, or we only work on these things on certain days, so I have to pretty much like take off of work and get stuff out of the way. But I'm proud of myself. I always pat myself on the back because I came a long way, man. In these 2 years, I remember in the beginning of all of this that I'm going through, and there's still a lot of stuff that I'm going through that I haven't even told y'all about. So some things is kind of like y'all don't even know, and some things y'all don't need to know anyway. But some things y'all don't need to know right now. But sometimes I can explain more of my story when I get over it. You know what I'm saying? sometimes you can't just put it all out there and say, and this happened and that happened. I just share my homeless journey. If you guys are new here and y'all don't know, I just share my homeless journey and things that I go through inside the homeless shelter on the daily basis. Every day, it's always something new going on. But I try to school people and let them know. A lot of people come here and they tell me also that they're homeless just like me. So they might live in their car, they may live in a hotel, they may live with a family member, or they may live in a shelter. I haven't seen anybody yet that's telling me that they're in a shelter. So I haven't, talked to anybody that say, hey, I'm in a shelter too. But mostly everybody's either living in their car, they're living in the street, or they are living with a family member. It's just not working out. So, and somebody said to me in a comment, sometimes I talk about the comments too. I might not even screenshot the comment, but some people come in the comments and say, well, some people don't want a grown person living with them. And I understand that. Like, I'm not mad at your comment. And I didn't even delete it. I didn't find that to be a disrespectful comment, but I understand what the person is saying. I get it. You're right. Some people don't. But if you don't want a person living with you, you just don't move them into your house. That's as simple as that. It's not like you're a 2-year-old and you don't understand. If you know that you don't want someone living in your house, just be like the rest of my family is doing with me. They're just saying, oh, no's no. They haven't told me no to my face or even no over the phone, but their actions, their answer is no. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to tell me to my face. They haven't told me to my face, and they haven't returned my calls. So that's telling me that they don't want to help me. So I understand what you're saying. Some people are like, oh, we don't want grown people living with us. I get it. But now, rough times, man, tough times. You should want all the income in your house that you could possibly get right now, because it's tough, right? You don't never know if that husband that you have could go to work and get hurt, get injured. Any little income can help you. And I'm not saying invite me into your house. If you don't want me there, hey, I don't want to be somewhere I'm not welcomed at. But I understand where people are coming from. I get it. But me, on the other hand, let my brother come knocking on my door. Well, in the past, before this all happened, let my brother come knocking on the door in the middle of the winter saying he don't got nowhere to go. Come on in here. It's not going to be a question. No question. It's not going to be a question. It's chilly. It's raining. It's chilly. It's cold. Certain places, I watch a lot of YouTubers that live in the, Pacific Northwest. I think it's snowing out there. Colorado for sure. I believe, I don't know, the Pacific Northwest, does it snow in the Pacific Northwest? I think it does. And everything looks pretty peaceful. Everybody should have been gotten rid of that old Thanksgiving meal by now. Nobody's eating no more Thanksgiving. Somebody told me that they eat their Thanksgiving stuff a whole week after. I'm like, what? You only supposed to be eating that stuff like a day or two afterwards, and that's it. Get tired of eating macaroni and cheese, potato salad, candy yams, and child. But I told myself, I said, well, next year I will be inside my own place, having my own Thanksgiving meal at my place, and that's on period. Thanksgiving next year is gonna be different because I'm gonna be able to, have my own spot again. It's nothing like going into your own house or apartment or wherever you dwell at. Even when I go into the shelter, even though I don't like the shelter and I don't like the energy at the shelter, the girls and stuff like that, when I'm in my bed, I'm pretty comfortable there. I'm okay. I'm letting it all out. I'm relaxing. I'm enjoying that time because it feels good to just lay down and rest. Because when I get back to the shelter, it's like the girls are down. Nobody's really up rowdy, because the girls are in their room. Their kids are asleep. The younger kids are sleeping, so... But when I'm in my bed at the shelter, I'm pretty comfortable there. Thank God. The girls in the room are okay, but the only thing that annoys me with that is some of the girls I guess they're smokers and they be coughing, hacking all night. That's annoying. Both of the girls actually be coughing throughout the night. And then one of them be like talking to herself, laughing to herself. I'm like, girl, what the heck is wrong with you? But they really don't bother me, so... They're not rowdy girls. The ones that's in the room with me, they're not rowdy, and I'm like happy about that. They're not rowdy at all. Times are hard, and more people will become homeless, I know. And if you are one who wouldn't take another person in, you better have a backup plan. to avoid becoming homeless yourself. Truth. Yeah, I'm just thinking my family, they got their heads stuck up their behinds right now because they figure, oh, I'm well to do right now. Me and my husband is set. We're okay financially, but sis, he could go to work tomorrow and not come home, or he could go to work tomorrow and get injured and be sick, and you got to take care of his sick husband, or he might have to go, stay in a nursing home, or something could happen to him. Something could happen to my brother's wife. They just had a baby. Like, I'm not speaking anything over anyone's life, but I'm just saying anything could happen. And your whole situation might change, and then you hear knocking on my homeless door talking about, hey, you still need a roommate? Oh, you need the money now, huh? Tables turn, man. Everybody got their foot up there behind, thinking they're perfect, thinking they're better than little old me. And then tomorrow you be like, oh, maybe I'll take you up on that offer. Nah, I think I'm gonna stay in the shelter. I'm good. Just a paycheck away from major event. Yeah, anything can happen. That's why I figured, like, family should help family. Now, mind you, y'all, I understand and know that there's some people in your family that you can't do nothing for. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say, hey, open your door to someone that you know that's using drugs, and somebody that you know that might be a registered sex offender or a rapist. You're not going to open your doors to certain people. I know there's some people in your family that you can't help because they don't really want to help themselves. But I'm not that person. But I don't think my family ever really took the time out to really know who I was. They just always complain and say, well, you've been missing for years. You haven't been around for years. Oh, it's a lot of family things going on that y'all think is normal. To me, it's not normal. Because to me, I don't mind cutting you the heck off. I'll cut you off. And that's what I did to most of my family members, cut them off. And I stopped going to Thanksgiving. I used to do it years ago. I used to go to family functions and stuff years ago, but not no more. I don't affiliate anymore. I damn sure ain't come to this one and see y'all be in cliques. You got family cliques and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm not a part of the clique. I know what y'all think about me. I know y'all think I'm the black sheep. And I am the black sheep of the family, and I really don't care. But when I saw my sister today in church and I asked her a simple question, girl, she looked at me with the look of death. Like, who are you talking to? Like, she gave me this weird look, like, what are you talking to me for? And I said, oh, okay, this is the same stuff I'm talking about, boo-boo. I don't need you. I'm not knocking on your door asking for shelter. I'm in the shelter, and I'm okay where I'm at. I'm okay where I'm at. So let's not get it misconstrued, baby. I know you and your fat, sloppy husband probably sitting pillow talking at night. Girl, it is what it is, honey. It is what it is, baby. It is what it is. I feel like I've been driving. I feel like a bus driver. Like, I've been driving around all day. Yeah, she gave me a little dirty, nasty look today. I asked her something, and she just turned around. Like, when somebody turns around and gives you a look like, back up. What are you bothering me for? What do you want? She gave me some nasty look. I said, sis, listen, I don't care. Okay? I'm homeless, but I'm not out in these streets homeless. Okay? I do stay at a shelter, and I'm okay there. I'm okay. It's not a bad situation. Not a bad situation. But how was your day today? How was your day today? I just can't wait to get settled again. But when you lose stuff, especially a house or an apartment, it's so hard to get back to normal. It's extremely hard. It's extremely challenging. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here. I don't know what else to say. I just really want to go lay down and go to sleep. But I think I have a chore tonight at the shelter. So I'm like, oh, damn. Do I have a freaking chore tonight? Did you read the Apple News today? I got a pop-up message that said so many families are becoming estranged. Oh, girl, it's so bad. I didn't even see that. Yeah, man, I'm estranged. I'm estranged in a lot of ways. I'm estranged. I'm definitely an estranged person with my family. And you have people in the family that just live in like a la la land situation. I don't particularly live in la la land. I like to call out the BS in the family, and that's why they don't like me. I call out the BS. Calling out the BS. And they all just sit around the table eating dry turkey, smiling and laughing like they all love each other. Girl, bye. I be the one to call out the mess. That's why they don't like me. I be the one that, what's that? Is it called The Best Man? Remember that movie, The Best Man, when everybody, I guess they went skiing, and the girl with the loud mouth, she's the one that just put everybody on blast, the man, and you're sleeping with her, and you're sleeping with her. I be the one to just be telling people, like, wasn't you just smiling in so-and-so face? Like, you know, and I'm not with the drama, but when certain things happen within the family and everybody acts like robots, I just feel like everybody's acting like robots. Oh, family is important. Family is so important when you know someone in the family is homeless and like 12 different families can assist. That's weird. I'm estranged from my family. They don't like me. And the feeling is, that's how I feel about mine, girl. And then my sister is the biggest one that cracks me up. Like, everybody else could do what they want, right? But when you are in a church and you consider yourself to be saved and sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, I'm baptized. She got Jesus on her mind and she's running for her life. Her and her sloppy behind husband, they supposed to be so Christian. It's so funny. It's so hilarious, man. I got Jesus on my side and she's running for her life. And you know what I learned? A lot of people in church, right? A lot of people in church hide behind church, right? They hide in church because they're doing dirt and they feel more comforted by other church people that's doing dirt too. They feel comfort in going to church because they look down on people that are in the streets, in the world, when they got stuff that they're doing, but they're just hiding behind their mess in church. Your saved ones are the worst. I stopped going to church. Yeah, a lot of people stop going to church because of this very thing. So I go because I enjoy. You know, I've been in church all my life, but you know, hey, I ain't. You know, I sit over there by myself. I sit with some of the saints, but our church is small, so it's a lot of room to move around. And I'm not gonna, because my sister go there, I'm gonna stop going. I'm not. But today when I asked her something, she turned around and gave me a look. She looked at me with such disgust in her face. And I looked at her like, bitch, I don't give two craps if you like me or not. I'm still in your face. I said, I'm still over here and I'm going to ask you a question, babe. I don't care what you and your fat 500-600-pound husband think. You putting all that energy into something else. You need to go tell him to put the energy to go walk on a treadmill. That's what he needs to do. Sweetie, anybody claim to be a Christian, but it doesn't make it so. Anybody can claim to be a Christian, but it doesn't make it so. Yeah, I know. A lot of people in church because they're hiding behind their own mess. Sometimes I just wish churches didn't even exist sometimes, man, because it's just such a fiasco. You know what I mean? It's just really turned into a fucking fiasco. Excuse my language, but it just turned into such a fiasco. It turned into such a play. Like, you know, when you go to what do you call it? An assembly and they have a play. It's become such a role play in church, you know. A whole bunch of people that, oh, I'm not of the world. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. And then when somebody's down bad, like me, down bad, but I'm doing good. I'm doing better than I was 2 years ago. I've come a long way. That's why I pat myself on the back. I don't sit around and look for anybody else to, you know, make me feel good. I feel good about my situation. You know what I'm saying? I feel good about where I've come, how far I've come. I've made it a long way. In my family's eyes, they may look at me as a loser. And if that's what y'all look at me as, well, that's your thought. You know, the way you feel about me is not my business, baby. The way you feel about me is not my business. But when you know that you're a good person, and I am a good person, and I want to love my family back and everything. And I'm not saying I want to love them like they're loving me, but they're not really loving me properly. So I run away from that. When you're not loving me properly, like if it's a woman that's with a man that's beating her up and not treating her right, don't you encourage her to leave that person? Shouldn't we leave to not be treated that way? Yeah, it's the same thing goes with family. If people are not treating you right, you need to leave them. Just like you would leave your husband if he was beating you up or, you know, whatever the situation is. If your husband is not treating you right, I encourage you to leave. I'm not going to sit around and keep being abused. talked about behind my back, and y'all supposed to be my sisters. Knowing this has been the darkest stages in my life, or what I'm going through, it's been the darkest stages of my life. Losing things, it's been the darkest stages of my life. I thought I could get more support from my sisters, but I don't. You remind me of a friend. God bless the Pendergrass family. Yeah, how you doing? Prophet PD? How you doing? My biological family, I do have them. They live in a particular state, and I've met them a few times, and they're just not my cup of tea. They know too. Like, I think my biological family kind of knows a little bit because people talk. Like, one of my biological sisters, I have a biological sister, and she's like, you know, it's always somebody in the family she deals with everybody, right? She deals with my biological family, and she deals with my adopted family, like, you know. And to me, even my sisters, like, biological or adopted sister, they're still my sisters and brothers. Like, I still look at them as my sisters and brothers, but I don't deal with none of them. I'm just not that person to deal with the foolishness. And my other side of the family, like my biological family, they're like city people. So we went to a family reunion, and this was a couple years back, and they had other family members pull up, and they was out in the parking lot fighting. So I was like, oh no, I don't want to be a part of that. So I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of the Ratchet family, and I don't want to be a part of this family. And I'm not saying that me and my family that I have, like my adopted sisters and them, maybe one day we can make a relationship. Maybe when I get settled and I get a place, you know, I could put my feelings beside me and try to, you know, come and be a part of things. I'm not saying that I wouldn't again, but right now it's just not going to happen until I get settled. And then when I get settled, I'm going to say, screw y'all. I never, you know what I'm saying? Screw y'all. Remember when I was out in the cold? So, and I'm not saying I'll never talk to them again. Like, I still love them and everything, but they're just not helpful in my life right now. So, hello, how you doing, Logic No Emotion? What is going on with ya? Thank you. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are new here and anybody is new, let me know. Say hello. I got 22 people watching me. Come say hello. I'm not a bad person. I am so cool. Come and say hi, man. I'm not showing my face because it's dark out here and you ain't gonna see me anyway, so. But I just talk about, you know, homelessness and stuff. And if you are going through a hard time, a hard season in your life, you are going to get through it. So I've been going through this now for 2 years. 2 years from being evicted in 2024. Living with family for 5 or 6 months. And then that family member put me out. I did stay with a niece of mine. She was the only one that took me in. She was the only one that took me in. And me and her, I just found out like who she was when I moved in with her. And after a couple of months, she wanted me to leave because she was being so petty. Like, she would do stuff like, somebody's using my soap, somebody's using my toothpaste, somebody used up the rest of the Pine Sol, somebody used the last paper towel. Like, and I was paying rent and I was bringing stuff into the house. Like, I was paying rent to her. I was giving her $600 a month, and I was doing extra stuff. I was doing, you know, I would take out the trash. I asked her, I said, listen, you need me to do a chore around here that I'm responsible for every day, every other day? Do you want me to do something? No. I said, okay. So I just initiated myself, and I just take out the trash. Whenever I see the trash overflowing, I'll take it out. Put a new bag in there. Take the trash to the, you know, I did that. She was like, and then later on, she just started being nitpicky about everything. That's how I know she got tired of me being in her space. And, you know, you could feel it because they start treating you a certain way. But don't invite someone into your house and then want to kick them out a couple of months later. My niece had already said, oh, I can see you staying here with me for a year until you get yourself together. And we didn't make a year, honey. A year didn't make a year. One thing I learned when I stay with someone, they'll do everything they can do to make you uncomfortable, which is by design. Just motivated me to move out and never come back. Yeah, I know now at this point, like, even if somebody did come, which I don't think is going to happen, but if somebody came now and said, hey, you can stay with us, I'm like, no, thank you. I stay at the shelter. I told them I stay at the shelter. You know why? Because it's a trap. It's a trap. You move in, and then like 2-3 months down the road, they want you to move out. Drama after drama. So I was like, no, thank you. If somebody came by now, a family member said, you can stay with us. You know, I feel bad. And I'm like, where was you at a year or 2 years ago, honey? So I would definitely deny it. I would definitely say no. No, I don't want to live with family anymore. I'm better off living in the shelter I'm better off in the shelter following their rules. And I'm not a person, I don't mind following the rules. Because when I was reading the rule book and everything, people was coming in my inbox and they were saying stuff like, you seem to have a problem with the rules. And I said, I'm reading the rules of the shelter so I can let y'all know what we have to abide by. I have no problem with doing a tour. I have no problem with curfew. I don't have a life, right? I'm not dating anybody. I'm not hanging out in the streets. I don't do drugs. All I do is work and go back and forth to the shelter, get up and exercise. I go to the gym. I don't have no life where I'm going to be hanging out in the streets or where I'm going to be like, you know, dragging in the shelter late on curfew and stuff like that. I don't have anything extra that I do in my life. So I don't mind following the rules because it's a rule. It's a basic rule. What? Come in on time, come in by a certain time. Keep your room clean. I don't have anything in that room. The only thing I have in that room is the sheets and stuff and the blankets that's on my bed. I don't keep clothes or anything in that shelter. I don't keep nothing. I'm just always have my bag in case I need to run. You know what I'm saying? Not run, physically run, but I've been kicked out twice in this whole journey of me being homeless. And I hate when people pull up beside me. This girl, I hate being in parking lots. But I have nothing. I'm always on the run. So I never get myself comfortable. I always have a gym bag that I take with me. And I have my gym bag. That's what has all my stuff in it. I remember living with a family member. I slept on the couch. I somehow became their maid. Oh, yeah. You just do little extra things so that, you know, even when you do extra stuff, they still don't notice it. You know, you're right. You end up being a maid because you're just trying to like do good things so that they don't say, hey, you need to leave. So it's crazy, man. It's like you're kissing their butt. And I didn't really do that with my niece, but I was taking out that trash a lot. And my niece had her kids and she had 3 kids there and they were like all teenagers. Sometimes I would come home from work and the kids would be splattered all over the floor like they were stretched out doing homework. But I think for some reason that she told them to do that, they annoyed me. She had the kids like sprawled out on the floor and I'm thinking I'm going to come home and be able to relax. And you got your kids like all over the floor doing their schoolwork and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, your kids have their own room and you know I sleep in this living room. Why can't you just have them in their rooms when I come home at this hour? Because they have to go to school tomorrow and I do live here. You know, I live in this little area. So the best thing you could do is say, hey, y'all know when so-and-so come home, y'all go to y'all rooms or whatever so she can kind of relax. Even though the living room is not a room, but it's my room and I do pay rent. So I would think that you would probably have your kids in their room because they all had their own room or whatever. I love your shorts on shelter rules of them crack me up. Yeah, I was reading the rules and I was just being funny. I was making it like a comical thing. They are the real rules, but some people came in there thinking that I was like, mad at the rules. Like they thought I was pissed off because I had rules to follow. I was like, no, I'm not mad about the rules. They're not asking me something that I can't do. I wouldn't leave a toothpick behind. Yeah, ain't that right, Rhonda? Girl, I don't leave nothing behind. The only thing I got in there is my bed sheets, and they lucky I don't wrap them up every day. You know, I'm tired of moving around. I'm tired of I have my duffel bag every day that I have to take back and forth to my car every day that has like my gym clothes in it, my nightgown, my soap, my toothbrush, all the toiletries that I need when I take a shower. So I either take a shower at the gym or I take a shower at the shelter. I don't shower at the shelter very often. I shower at the gym more than I shower at the shelter. So the people at the shelter probably like, oh, that lady dirty. You don't never see her taking a shower. I think since I've been at that shelter, I probably took a shower maybe twice. I'd rather shower at the gym. I think it's like more privacy. Hey, everybody that's coming into the chat. I'm just chopping it up, saying how everybody's doing. Rhonda said I wouldn't leave a toothpick behind. Girl, I be wanting to roll them sheets up too. I be wanting to roll my sheets up and saying, because I'm just so used to being kicked out. Like I've been kicked out twice since I've been homeless. In these 2 years, I was kicked out. And I know people like, oh, it sounds like you're the problem. Somebody came in my inbox and said, it sounds like I'm the problem. And I said, well, I think I became the problem being in their space and they just didn't want me there anymore. So that's what I could say. But I didn't cause nobody no drama. because I wasn't there. Like, I work 8 hours a day. Like, my shift is 8 hours, right? So that means I'm gone at least 8 or 9 hours out of the day, because I give 30 minutes to get to work, 30 minutes to get back from work. That's another hour. So I say about 9 hours or 10 hours in a day, I'm not even in the house because I'm working. So it's not like I'm laying around your house all day, getting on your nerves, eating up your food. But after a while, people just get tired of you being there. I mean, that's just what that's the fact of the matter. That's the fact of the matter. They just got tired of me being there, and that's okay. But, you know, don't invite someone into your space and then you try to put them out on some messed up stuff. That's not right, because I had to literally pack my stuff up and move it out, and I still got stuff at my niece's house, and I think she actually threw that stuff away. I think she threw some of my stuff away, because I remember calling her one time and I asked her, I said, can I come by and pick up some of my stuff? She was like, oh, well, I've been working a lot. I said, you're a damn liar. I know you probably threw my stuff away, but I'm not going to fight you with it. Whatever you threw away is, girl, I don't need it. Whatever I lost in this journey, I'm going to get it back 100-fold. So if I lost something, I'm going to get, it's going to come back to me 100-fold, you know? It's been raining all day, y'all. But at least it's raining and it's not like cold. It's chilly, but it's not like cold where I can't take it. But how's your evening going? Hello, how are you, Shelby? Shelby Green. What's going on with you this evening? Hello to anybody in the chat that's watching and not saying hello. Come and say hi to us. We don't bite. We don't bite you. We are not going to bite you. Imagine throwing away old family members' belongings when they are struggling. Yeah, I think my niece did throw away some of my stuff, because I had asked her, I said, can I come by and get some of my stuff? And this was months ago. And she was supposed to call me back and say, yeah, it's a good, you know, I knew she threw away. I don't even care. Screw her. I thought you were adding extended. No, that video, and I knew people was going to get it wrong, because a lot of people was in the comments saying, oh my God, congratulations. That was an extended stay visit months ago. That was in the summertime. So that's nothing now. That's something that happened months ago when I first went to the extended stay, and that was months ago. Sometimes I put up, that's why the title of the video is old footage. No, I'm living in a shelter. I'm in a homeless shelter. I've been in the homeless shelter now for about almost 3 or 4 months now. But this shelter, I've been at this shelter for like almost 2 weeks. I think it's probably been 2 weeks or whatever. I got to keep better track of my time. But no, the extended stay video, when y'all look at videos and stuff, y'all have to read the title and read sometimes inside the video, because I will say old footage. So when I say old footage, that means that it could have been 9 months ago. It could have been, you know, I always try to label the videos. If it's old, it's old. Yeah. Now I'm just sitting in the car because I don't go back to the shelter until like a certain specific time. I don't want to go back there too early. And some lady was saying to me in the comments, she was like, girl, you better go back to that shelter and stop running away from the girls. I said, I'm not really technically running away. These people pull up to my car too close and I'm sitting in the car. I hate being in these parking lots. All the space, and they decide to come 2 inches away from my damn car. Let me move my car, child. People just don't know how to drive. And I see the people that's doing this stuff are young kids. They're like teenagers getting out of these cars. I said, let me move my car, child. Let me move my car, because these people getting too close to me right now. They're getting a bit too close. And I'm not like one of those, yo, and it's 2 cars side by side to me. That's damn near like a toothpick. All this space, y'all all up on me. I don't understand it. Let me move. Let me move, child. Let me move my car. Move out the way. I don't understand it. How people don't know how to park. And then somebody will come right over here and move right next to me in 2 minutes. Watch this. I'm just going to stay right over here until it's time for me to go back. But yeah, they sitting over there like a toothpick away from me. I'm just like, damn, this big parking lot, you close to my car? If you open up your door, you're going to hit my car. I just like to move away from people. I got to get away. I got to get away. I gotta get away. Do they have limits on shelters like 90 days and find another one? Yeah, they talking about it's 90 days at this one. Move for privacy. Yeah, I mean, I'm at a Dollar Tree, the Dollar General, and these kids, and I noticed the kids that are doing this thing with being close to my car. These are like young kids. I'm just like, damn, girl, can you move your car? Like, it's all this space out here. You're going to be all close to me. Do you not share your area or state? I don't really have to share my area or state. I don't have to. I have to protect my safety, so I don't need to share that. I don't need to share that because some people are out to dox me. People are out looking for my job, and they're looking for where the shelter is so that they can call and tell the shelter. They want to tell the shelter that I'm talking about the shelter on live videos. I talk about my life and my homeless journey, so people want to call the shelter. They think the shelter should know. I guess they think the shelter's going to put me out. So, yeah, I don't share my area anymore. I don't share my area anymore. You have to be safe. When you're on social media, and I don't know if you guys do social media, right? But when you do social media, people will try to find your job. They're going to try to find where you live. They're going to try to find the shelter because they want to get me in trouble. Yeah, basically for safety reasons, because there's people out there that, I mean, I've been on social media for a long time. I did YouTube for a long time. People will they call it doxing. They'll try to dox you. They'll try to find out where you're at. They'll look in your surrounding areas, find out what state you're in, find out, they try to dwindle it down. And some people will come here specifically and ask me, oh, what's the weather today? Because they can go and Google, what was the weather today in Massachusetts? Where was the weather today in Maine? So they try to figure out where I'm at. So then they say, oh, she's in a homeless shelter. Google. That's what they try to do. They try to find me on Google. They try to find my real name. And not that they're going to find anything on my name. I'm not a criminal, so you're not going to find nothing there. But yeah, people will dox you. That's what they call it on social media, doxing someone. When you try to find out their information or where they work at. That's why you have to be safe, and you got to be careful. Even me, when I'm like in my car and I'm driving, some people like turn on the camera right now. Like, turn on what? I don't have to turn on anything. Who are you? Did you forget that this is my YouTube channel? I can do what I want on my channel. I can share what I want. I can say what I want, as long as I'm not harming anybody or harming myself. Don't come over here with the crazy stuff. So true. You got to be careful. Some people like to kick you when you're down. Yeah, and I'm down right now. And people be trying to find out. They're like, I'm going to find out where you're at. I'm going to call the shelter. You're going to call the shelter and say what? What are you going to say? Oh, she's talking about the shelter. She's talking about her life in the shelter. It's not like I've been taking pictures of people or video recording inside the shelter. And I have seen some people on social media that say, hey, I've been living in a shelter in New York. And they be recording inside the shelter. I don't do that because they probably could kick you out for that. But let me tell y'all something too. People are so stupid. They have all different types of homeless shelters. Some homeless shelters are for domestic violence victims. Y'all don't know what my situation is. Y'all don't know which shelter I'm in, or if it's a DV shelter. You really don't know. You don't know. And then on top of that, if you try to call, and how dumb people are, if you call a shelter, you're not going to get any information. Did you guys know that? You're not going to get no information. You're not going to get any information from the staff members. If you try to call and say, hey, there's a girl who's on YouTube and she simply talks about her life journey. Who is she? And I just want to let you know that she's talking about the shelter on a YouTube channel. Like, what do you think they're going to do? Kick me out? Is that what y'all think was going to happen? Like, I'm going to be out in the streets again. I'm going to be homeless. Like, sis, bye. People get mad when you're just sharing your journey. I simply just share my journey, and people don't understand that. And they're just like, oh, they call me liars. Like, oh, she's faking. She's scamming. Yeah, I'm really scamming, huh? I'm really scamming. When you got some channels that really do be asking for money straight up, they ask for donations. I haven't not one time asked for a donation from anybody. People send me donations, but I never ask for them. And I'm grateful, as I say every day when I come up here. I say, oh, thank you. I be getting cash up like every other day. I be grateful for that. People just send me stuff. Like one guy, and I know he did it on purpose, he sent me $1. I was grateful to get that $1. Grateful. Very grateful to get that $1. Very grateful to get that $1. I was like, wow, I know you sent it to me to be funny. I guess you thought I was going to be offended, but people send me cash apps almost every other day. I respect you because I was in a shelter 2 times, so I understand. Yeah, I don't mind talking about it. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. I'm not embarrassed. This is my life, and this is what a lot of people are going through. A lot of people don't share because they don't want to, and they don't have to share. But I'm one of those people. I have to share to get through it. You know what I'm saying? I got to share. I got to talk about it to get through this moment. It's only a moment in my life, but it seems like it feels like I've been in this for 4 years, but it's really been 2 years. This January will be 2 years. How you doing, Global? Hi, Vinny. Hi, Diana. How y'all doing this afternoon? I went to church today, y'all. I went to church today. Exercise this morning. I mean, I do the same thing every day, so nothing on my schedule kind of changes. I do the same old stuff every day, like the same stuff. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. But I don't come in here with the pity party. My life is my life, so it's my life for now, because one day I'm going to be housed. One day soon. I say in 2026. 2026 is going to be my year. You know what I mean? Dang, I got 41 people watching me. Oh my God. I hope everybody gave me a thumbs up right now. If you guys are able to share, if you can. You don't have to share. I would like for you to share, but if you don't share, it's okay too. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all for supporting me and all the well wishes and the comments and everything. And I do get a lot of bad comments, but when you send a disrespectful comment, it just gets blocked and deleted. I don't care. You have your opinion about whatever I'm going through, because I know that you know my life, right? I know you know me more than I know myself. I know that you're living this journey right beside me, and you know what's going on. So I understand. People come here with all types of stuff. They call me scammers and all types of things, child. But I'm gonna still be here. I ain't going nowhere. I told y'all, even when I get settled and I find me a place, even if it's a hotel or extended stay, a house, or whatever comes my way in 2026, I'm still going to record my videos. Like, I'm still going to record my videos. I am always going to be here, and I'm never going anywhere. That's the sad part there. I'm still going to be around, darling. I'm still going to be around. Me not going anywhere. We not going nowhere. Oh my God, did you guys hear that big truck next to me? See, the thing is, I'm happy with my life. Even being homeless, I'm actually homeless and happy with, I'm content. I'm not going to say I'm happy with the homelessness, but I'm content, right? I'm comfortable in my bed. And that's all I need is a bed to sleep in. You know what I mean? I would like to meet you one day, have a sit down in a restaurant, have a nice meal and converse. Okay. Vinny, I wish you the best. I slept in my car once and went to the Y and had a good job at the time. It could happen to anyone. Yep. And I just saying, somebody said, what did he say? Stop crying. What did they say? The trolls. Stop crying. Let me see what he said. Stop crying and playing the victim. Halloween. Stop crying and playing the victim. I know, I'm playing the victim. I know. Screw me. I'm playing the victim. You're right. I know, I play the victim too much, right? That's what pissed me off. I got a cup of coffee today. I only had a few sips of it, and it's just sitting here. I had some coffee today, and it's just sitting here. But I thank you guys for wishing me the best. Doing what I can do, right? To get through the hurdle. But 2026 is gonna be my year, y'all. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Y'all gonna see. One day I'm gonna have them keys a jingling. Y'all gonna be like, oh my God. Them keys gonna be a jingling, baby. They gonna be jiggling, baby. You go ahead, baby. You jiggling, baby. You go ahead, baby. Who sang that? I forget. That's a I think a 1990 song. You jiggling, baby. You go ahead, baby. You jiggling. I forget who sang that. Was that from Heavy D? Was it Heavy D? I forgot. And I have not been at my storage in a long time. I need to go there. I need to go to my storage. But like I said, I would have to do it on a Monday. I could do it on the days that I'm working too. I just have to stop that. It just be too cold to even want to get out the car. It'd be too cold for me to even want to get out the car. You know what I mean? You're jiggling, baby. You go ahead, baby. You're jiggling, baby. You go ahead, baby. You're jiggling, 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 baby. You go ahead, baby. You're jiggling, 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 jiggling. LL Cool J. Okay, I thought it was Heavy D. I usually eat out. I don't really eat at the shelter. They do have food there, but I'm never there to really eat it. I think I had breakfast twice, but I'm usually always on the road. Like my thing is, I get up and go to the gym every morning, like clockwork. I'm off on Mondays. I'm off on Sundays too, but they do have food there. I probably gotta just start telling them to save me a plate. But sometimes when I ask them to save me something, I get back and they like, oh, it's going now. But yeah, we do eat there. They do give us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then they give snacks out for like the kids and stuff. Yeah. It's not too bad. The only thing that makes the shelter bad is the girls. Like the ghetto chicks that I be talking about, and ghetto girls. They the ones that make it bad. They are the ones that make it like a bad, because it's like, it feels like a prison. You know, you got your girls that kind of bully people, and it feels like a jail. It's not the best place in the world, but it's not the worst either. You know what I mean? People are not getting like raped or anything in the middle of the night. Someone's not jumping in your bed, and nothing's bad happening there. It's just, I think the girls act ratchet, and then the staff members, they be acting like they're scared of the girls. So when the girls need to be checked for doing stuff, walking around the building like cussing and fussing, the staff members should be checking them in that. Like, y'all can't be around here doing that. We're not doing that. You're gonna get written up. You're gonna get kicked out. You threaten to kick somebody on the streets, they're gonna stop doing their crap. But if you continue to let these little ratchet girls run around here cussing each other out every 2 minutes, that doesn't look good. And the staff members should be on that. Because I know if I was in there as a staff member, I mean, I'd be, what's your name? Oh, you're going on this write-up list. Because we don't want to hear the cussing and the fussing. We're not doing that. You got new people that come in here, like new girls come in here, and some people probably be scared, like, oh my God, what's going on in here? Like, everybody's not from that type of background, that ranchy, crazy, ghetto. Everybody's not from that type of lifestyle. So you should know how to carry yourself. They be around there cussing and fussing, like cussing, F this, F that, oh, that be. And the funny thing was, this is how I call them ratchet, right? I don't sit around and think I'm better than those girls, because we just come from two different walks of life. But when you have children walking around in there, and you got a mother that's walking through the shelter, F this, F that, be this, be that, that's out of line. And they need to be checked for that. The staff members being there, and half the staff members are probably scared of the girls themselves. And I told you about the girl the other day was trying to intimidate me, the big chick. And I'm looking at her like, sis, listen, I'm not here for the drama. I mind my business. I go get in my car every morning. I'm out of here by 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm down the road. I don't be in here with the drama. I mind my business. I don't even talk to y'all. Like, especially the ghetto girls. I don't say a word to them. Not one word. I look at them with the evilest look on my face and dare you to try me. Dare you to try me. But see, they're not going to try you. They're going to keep talking. That's what you call a whole bunch of punks. You know what I'm saying? They try to act like they tough. You walking around here trying to act like y'all a whole bunch of men. Like y'all trying to carry yourself like y'all men. Y'all look stupid. Y'all don't know how stupid you look. And you can't even get it. Like, you can never get a job with your attitude. But your boss piss you off, you're going to walk around the job cussing and fussing. I mean, some people will do that. But come on now. You're not going to ever get a job acting like that. You're not going to ever keep a job acting like a ratchet person. I don't carry myself like that. There's nothing cool about looking stupid. She tried me two times. The girl tried me 2 times. I'm trying to sign out. She's signing out, tapping her fingers like I'm moving too slow. Then I asked her, I said, do you need one of these? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. That's what she said to me. And I'm like, sis, I don't have no problem with you, but what's this interview you got coming up here? When I was in a shelter in 2023, the shelter staff called CPS on those women with those children neglecting their kids. Yeah, I see it all the time. Girl, if I called and I'm not that type of person, but if I was a really screwed up person, I could call DCP&P and have them come through there and start cleaning house, okay? So, sis, don't play with me because I get your name. Yeah, the kids walking around in there, the ghetto girls, they be around there cussing and fussing, be this, damn this, slamming doors. I'm going to kick her behind. I'm going to kick her ASS, and she's a B. And I just be like, wow. The girls' rooms be dirty. The staff members don't be on top of that either. Like, they're not on top of much of anything. They kind of just let people do whatever they want. And I just like, damn, what the heck is going on up in here? Because the other shelter I was in, they didn't play that stuff. I mean, the girls cussed and everything, but they knew if they was around like staff members and stuff, the staff members over there going to check, they're going to check you. Because that shelter over there is technically considered to be a Christian base, even though it was nothing much Christian going on up in there. But they, it's a Christian, it's a religious, very conservative type shelter that they was running over there at the other shelter I went to. So they had like chapel, they would have church services there and stuff like that, which was nice. But a lot of those people, they from the streets, and a lot of them are drug addicts and alcoholics and stuff. A lot of them do be cussing and stuff. And my ears are not like bleeding because I hear somebody cussing, but when you're in a shelter and you're around other mothers with kids, like, have respect for other people that's around you. Think about somebody else that's surrounding you. Even when I go to sleep, my roommates, when we sleep, all the roommates, when we leave that room at night to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, we're not going to let the door slam. We're going to shut the door quietly because we know somebody in the other bed. I know the girls in my room are sleeping, so I'm going to have some respect for them, right? But the ratchet girls, they'll go outside of their room and let the door slam shut, not even caring about the kids in the bed sleep. Like, you could scare somebody because it's like a prison. The door slams shut. You know what I'm saying? When you shut the doors, you can hear it. At nighttime, when everything's quiet, you can hear a pin drop. You can just hear people doing, like, if you was doing something or whatever, you can hear everything. You can hear stuff. So when somebody get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, you can hear doors slam. You can hear them doors slam. But us, we have respect for our roommates. We grab the door by the handle and I shut it quietly and gently. I shut it quiet and gentle because I know that my roommate is asleep. I'm not going to just bust out the door and boom. Like, what type of stuff? That's just no respect, man. And I know it's kids in other rooms. You know what I'm saying? They got kids and they got mothers. They got some mothers that do work and stuff. But only stuff like that will make you get on your grind even faster to get the heck up out of there. Because, like, living in a shelter, that's no lifestyle to be living in. You know what I'm saying? But some people are chronic because the money is just not out there. You got to work, 7 days a week to make the rent, and still working 2 jobs. You barely making the rent. And all you're going to be doing is being tired with your life. You're going to be tired. You're going to be tired all the time. You're not going to want to do nothing with your life. Like, what am I doing with my life? I work 2 jobs. Even if I got vacation at one job, I still got to go to my other job. And it's like really not a vacation. So it was like, I don't want to work 2 jobs, but I have to. They don't care, but they be the main ones in there. Like, half of the girls don't have a job. A lot of them are collecting welfare. So, they got time to be sitting around amongst each other, shooting the shit, not doing nothing, being negative. But they got them cigarettes, though. And tomorrow's the 1st of the month. So we all know what's hitting for that. They're going to be down to the, they're going to be jumping on the nearest bus to go find cigarettes, drugs, drinks, whatever they want. They're going to be on the next bus tomorrow. So they look at me like, oh, she working, she got a car, she got a decent car. So they be looking at me like, who she thinks she is? They look at me like, oh, she don't be hanging. I sure don't hang with the ratchets. There's nothing ratchet about me. Okay? So I definitely don't want to hang with you. No, I don't look at y'all like I'm better, but girl, please. I get up in the morning and I go to the front desk. I say good morning to the staff members. I don't just sign out and walk out the door. Like, show some respect for people. Google offer cleaning jobs in your area so you can work 3 to 4 hours every evening. Yeah, I've been Googling some of those too. It was 2 of them that had called me back and I had replied back to them, but they didn't give me a call back. So I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow. But good morning, Black Russia. How are you? So I'm doing my part to try to find stuff. But, they say they hiring and then you get the job. Not get the job, but you might come in for an interview. I always try to ask, like, what are your hours? I need to know your hours now so I know how to move forward, It's a lot of jobs on Indeed, but half of them don't even be really calling you back. But it's still hope alive, you know. It's something going to pop through. Something going to pop through for me. Because as soon as I get something, I pick up the second job and it works out with the hours that I have now, I'm going to an extended stay. I'm going to probably work at this new job for like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a couple of weeks. I'll probably work there, get me a few checks, and then move to this extended stay. Because I can go back to the extended stay if I have another job. Keep calling them. Get on their nerves. Yeah, the jobs, right? I know a brand new building that's accepting applications till December 16th. Would you like the information? What state is that in? What state is it? I can't leave where I'm at, you know, because I have a job here, so I can't just relocate. And some people come here and say, like, you know, relocation. I can't relocate right now. And I'm not even going to say why, but I just can't relocate because I have a job. So I do have a job. But yeah, I can put my email down here. If y'all want me to know something that you feel like you have to say in private, I can put my email up there. You guys can email me if you want to. That's my email address there. Y'all can see it. Can y'all see the email address I put up there? That's my email if you want to send the information through my email. And I'm not nowhere near, you know. Yeah, it's in another state. I'm not really trying to leave the state. I can't right now. But I appreciate it. But you can still send me the information. Very iconic. Michelle Dickens and the Dickens was keeping you up. Who you talking to me? Extended stay is something else. I was trying to sleep last night and I was hearing them bumping and grinding. Oh God, yeah. The hotels are bad because you can hear people in the next room. So yeah, they're crazy. Oh God. You when I stayed in extended stays, I would have something running, like I would keep the TV on, or I would keep the TV in the background on. But yeah, in them hotels, honey, you can hear everything. You can hear people's conversations, but I don't know why people think that if they're in a hotel that unless you're in a high-end hotel, you probably won't hear too much. But if you're in one of these little extended stays or these little cheap hotels, yes, you're gonna hear people in the next room. I've never heard it, thank God, but you know, that's hotels for you. You can hear people. The walls are very thin. The walls are definitely very freaking thin. Oh, but I had a good day. It's rated out here and I hate that, but it's wet and rainy out here. It sucks. It's wet and it's rainy out here and it sucks. Yeah, that's what happens when you're in them hotel rooms. An extended stay is really, to me, a hotel room too. They're like hotels that people like. A lot of these hotels they know that there's a need out here for people being homeless. So, you know, they're going to, I guess if they're not being successful with the hotel stuff, they'll say, okay, we could turn this into an extended stay and just get money that way. And if you open up extended stay, you know what I mean? People going to be coming there paying that rent because they need a place to stay. Most people that end up in extended stays, they can't get an apartment for whatever reason. So they have to go to an extended stay. And they know extended stays, they know that people are more homeless than they've ever been before. They know that. They know there's a need there. So why not open up extended stay? Why not start a rooming house? Why not? They know people going to pay for that because you need a place to live. Definitely in the wintertime. In the wintertime, you can't survive out here in the winter. You're not going to make it out here in the wintertime, so... Even in the summertime, it's rough because you got the bugs biting you. So either way, even people that stay in parks and stuff like that, they got bugs biting them all night, mosquitoes biting them all night. It sucks, man. It's miserable. It's miserable. You better pay your bills, pay your rent. Pay your rent and don't violate your lease. I didn't get evicted because of non-payment of rent. Mine was a lease violation. So mines have nothing to do with money. So hopefully it should be easy for me to find something, I hope. But eviction is not good anyway. So either way, an eviction is not good. Big giant apartment complexes probably wouldn't accept me, but I could find a private landlord. You know what I'm saying? I could find somebody, yes. But I'm not really even looking for an apartment right now, so. Because you already know to get inside an apartment right now, you're probably going to need like almost $5,000 just to get in. I would say $4,000 to $5,000 just to get in the door. You know what I'm saying? So just to get in the door, you probably going to be having to put like $4,000 to $5,000 up front to get in the door of any kind of like, you know. They shouldn't make these laws so hard for people to have housing. Like, you know, if you have the money, I don't think they should say, well, you know, I just think everybody should have fair housing. Everybody should be able to be housed. But we all know everything out here is about money. It was a lease violation. I'm not going to talk about that. It was just a lease violation. I'll leave it at that. But everybody should be able to be housed. Everyone should be housed. I don't care. Like, if you have the money, they shouldn't say, well, you can't live here because you had an eviction, or you can't live here because of this. If they can verify you have an income and you have enough income to cover that rent, they shouldn't say, well, you could stay homeless in the streets because, you know, this, that, and the third. It's just, the laws are stupid when it comes to housing. And I know that everything is about money. If you don't have money, hey, if you don't have money, you don't have money. Yeah, just keep it at least violation. Maybe one day I'll tell y'all, but now's not the time. Now's not the time to tell everything. One day I might tell, and one day I may not tell. So I don't know. I don't put everything out there. Some things I don't talk about because I don't really have to talk about it. But one day we'll see what the future holds, right? We'll see what the future holds one day. I may talk about it and I may not, but now is not really the time. Keep pushing on. You were going to tell your story of the guy friend who went from having his own business to going homeless. Oh yeah, him. He ended up being an alcoholic. Yeah, he's an alcoholic. And I know him from high school. And I wasn't like trying to get in a relationship with him. He was trying to like say that he wanted to get into a relationship with me. And I'm just like, how's that going to work? Like, we're both homeless. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. Like, I'm like, you can't even afford to take me on a date. So I was just like, that's not going to work out. No, I never discussed what happened or why I violated the lease, because that's a whole nother story in itself. One day I will tell it, but I'm not going to talk about it today. Every time somebody asks me what happened, I say, well, it wasn't due to non-payment of rent. It was a lease violation. I violated a part of my lease and I was evicted. It didn't have anything to do with I didn't pay my rent or anything. So maybe that may look good for me on my record. So, but yeah, I'm going to talk more about the guy and tell you, but he ended up being like an alcoholic. And I wasn't like thinking about being in a relationship with him anyway, because I'm just like, well, you're homeless, I'm homeless, like, what's going to come of that? Like, you can't do anything for me, I can't do anything for you, I'm not together. I want to be in a relationship with someone that, you know, is settled and, you know, settled in their life. I'm not settled in my life, and neither are you. So why would you be out here trying to pick up a woman? Like, what the heck? Who does that? But men do it all the time, though. Men do it all the time. They try to pick up women while they're homeless or whatever. And I'm just like, that's weird to me. Like, why would you even want to be out here trying to find a woman that's homeless? Like, what the heck? I thought that was weird, but see, I knew him from high school, so, you know, we were talking, and it's not bad to have like a male to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Somebody to talk to through what I'm going through, and we can both relate. But okay, well, what are you doing to get out of your situation? Because I'm not interested in dating. You can't take me on a date. Like, we can't do anything because you don't have any money. So I'm like, what the heck kind of relationship is going to come from that? Because I'm gonna tell you, women like to go on dates, okay? So I don't know what he expected to get out of me, but it wasn't going to be anything. It wasn't going to be much. And then he ended up telling me that he was like an alcoholic and stuff like that. And he has to get into a rehab because he can't stop drinking. I said, brother, I really definitely don't want nothing to do with that. Like, I don't want nothing to do with someone else's life. I got my own stuff going on. I don't need to be worrying about you and me. Like, I gotta worry about myself. And you shouldn't be wanting to be out here trying to be worrying about me too. And I don't know what he was trying to get. I guess he thought he could probably get something out of me or whatever. I don't know. But I wasn't interested. Yeah, run right from the homeless guy. And I didn't judge him because look at me. I'm homeless too. You know what I mean? But I don't got nothing to offer you. I don't got nothing to give you. I don't know what you want from me. Maybe he thought I would be an easy girl to sleep with. But I'm like, listen, I ain't thinking about no man right now. I'm trying to get shelter. Now, if a man come at me and say, hey, I got a house over here, we could talk about it. Okay, it might be a little different. But even that situation, I probably wouldn't. Because some people was like, oh, you better go find you a man. Go find a man and what? Move in and then I could be his slave, his living slave? Like, no, I'd rather just get my own stuff. And if I want to date after I get settled, I'll date that way. But I can't date like right now. I'm broken right now. I can't give nobody anything. And, you know, definitely not a man. Like, if a man came to me and had something, I would really be shocked that he would want anything to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want a woman that's like homeless? Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you trying to do? Like, what's your angle here? What is your angle here? So I didn't know. I'm really just, I still don't know. But he ended up telling me, like, yeah, I'm struggling with alcohol. And I'm just looking at him like, dude, your life is just as crappy as mine's right now. What the heck you think we're getting out of this? What are we getting out of this? You don't know if he's fully healed from his divorce. Child, it's just his life is a mess, okay? My life's a mess too, but damn, at least I don't have no drugs or alcohol attached to it. Thank God. Thank God I have no drugs or alcohol attached to my situation, because it would be a bigger struggle if I had, you know, maybe to go to rehab or something and I'm fighting alcohol addiction or something. Yeah, he was honest. He was honest, but I don't know. I guess he thought I was probably like a desperate woman that... And it's nice to have attention. Like, it's nice to have a male friend to talk to. You know what I'm saying? It is nice to talk to someone that's going through the same thing. So we kind of related to each other in that way. Like, okay, we did chit chat a little bit or whatever. But, you know, that's all we did was talk about our situation and how we want to get out of it and stuff like that. But that's as far as it went. Like, you got to get your life together, because he had a promise, and he had an HVAC business, right? So he was making really good money. And he said that his ex-wife like was robbing him. She only was robbing him because he was always drunk. He was an alcoholic. So he said, man, my wife had stole money from me. He said his accountant had found out that he had money missing, and his accountant was asking him, like, where's all the money going? He said his wife stole like $50,000 from him, you know, from the business. But that all went back to him being an alcoholic. And he was like, man, I used to fall asleep on the couch, and my wife used to encourage me to drink, and she used to go buy me beers and do all this stuff. And I said, well, she was encouraging your behavior, so she didn't love you. Yeah, life is balanced. If you're a mess, you need to unmess me. And I know, right? But then you think about it, like, I'm not really looking for a man, you know what I'm saying? Because my life is messy right now. You know, I'm in rock bottom. I'm trying to dig my way out. But you know, some people can find themselves in rock bottom and find a partner that way. And most of the time, it's always a woman, the man finding the woman probably in a crappy situation. Because I'm not going to lie to you, women ain't going to, well, some women will, though. Because I ain't taking no man that's a mess. I don't want no messy man. So I'm not going to deal with that. So I'm just not. But I guess a man will take a woman in quicker than a woman would take a... But nowadays, women just do anything when it comes to men. So I don't know. But I don't want no man that I got to piece together and build up. Because number one, I'm too old for that. I got to build my life back. And I'm not trying to take anybody with me and try to fix you too. Come on, let me help you. I don't have time because I'm trying to help myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help myself. But so he ended up being an alcoholic, and he was saying that his wife was robbing him blind. So he said his accountant found out that he had a lot of money that was missing. So I'm just like, well, you know, if, you know, in my head, I didn't tell him this because I didn't want to make him feel bad. But I'm just like, well, if you're an alcoholic and you're falling asleep on the couch and you have all this money in your car from your jobs, I said, he seemed like he had his record keeping his stuff tight, but he said his wife was robbing him. But he would get drunk and she would encourage him to drink because she was in your pocket. In church, in my church, it's only one single guy, and he's like the pastor's son. He's the pastor's son, and he got his own problems too. Me and him be talking. He's cool people. He's like a cool friend type guy. But there's really no men in church because all the men in my church are married. Yeah, everybody's always married. You don't need more headaches. Yeah, I definitely don't need no more headaches. Run again. Run again, I know, right? The pastor's son. The pastor's son got his own drama. I was talking to him today, right? So me and the pastor's son are kind of like cool. We talk, right? On the low, we kind of text each other or whatever. So he was telling me about the drama with his wife. It's just such a big mess, right? But you need people to talk to sometimes. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with having a friend to talk to. So he's telling me about his stuff, and he had a drug addiction too. Like the pastor's son was in rehab, and he was telling me, "Oh, I'm doing so good now," and all this stuff. I said, "Well, great. Like, what do you want me to do? I don't want nothing to do with no man that got anything to do." I've been with men in the past that had alcohol addictions, and one of my ex-boyfriends had a heroin addiction, and I didn't believe it until I saw him, and I was just like, "Oh, hell to the no." And he was fine. He was a nice looking man too. Nice, fine as hell. Older guy. He was in his 50s, but he was like a nice looking man. But child, please talk to them because we need the tea. Yeah, I talked to them because I like the tea too. I talked to the pastor's son, so I think the pastor's son be low key trying to talk to me. Like, he was like, "Oh man, you look good for your age." Because I grew up with them, right? I grew up with this pastor's family, so he was married to his wife. Him and his wife had 2 babies. They had twins, so she only gave birth one time, but they got twins. So the wife ended up leaving the pastor's son because he was messing around in the streets with drugs and pills, whatever he was doing. So his wife leaves him. So then the pastor's son, his wife ends up marrying another guy down the line. So we all go to the same church. Child, church people be having drama too, honey. But I like to have something, you know. I talk to him because we're cool like that. But I don't think that I would ever look at him in that way, because I just don't look at him like a partner type. I just don't think his head and his mind is together. I think he still dabble with the drugs or whatever. So I definitely don't want to do with that. But I'm gonna get whatever he want to put out. I'm gonna catch it, because he tells me stuff about the wife. He be like, "Yo, she don't have me on child support," so he's telling me stuff. So I'm like eating it up. I'm eating it up. So, but I be in church like, "Oh yeah." So he be telling me things. So he's the pastor's son. So it's things in that church that he could tell me that I could get some tea on. So, but I don't tell him much of my tea. I don't tell the pastor's son my tea about me being homeless and all that stuff. And then on top of that, y'all, the pastor's son lives in the basement with the pastor. He lives with his parents. So, and I understand men could be in situations where their life, you know, they get divorced or whatever. They might have to move in with dad. He hasn't told me that he lives there, but I know he lives with his parents. But a woman can go back home and live with her parents and the world not say anything. But when a man has to go back home, it's like a big to-do. It's like, what? You live with your parents? You live at home? I don't want nothing to do with you. But I don't think about the pastor's son in that way. So when you get your feet, would you ever consider relocating somewhere more affordable? One day I would. One day. But I'm connected to my job right now, so I don't know what the future is going to hold for me. I really want to just, you know, do social media, see where things go. Start working on my soap business, because I do make handmade soaps. So if my handmade soaps business pull off the way I need for it to pull off, I could just work the job I have now and do my soap business. And I have another venture that I want to do as well, but it's just so much. It's so much. I don't tell everything that I have going on, because I just don't. One day y'all just gonna see, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, but I keep my ear open. I talk to guys. Like, there's nothing wrong with me talking to a man. There's nothing wrong with a woman talking to a man in a friendly type of level. Hey, life is life, right? I be talking to them and finding out the tea. I want to know what they got going on. You know what I mean? Hey, I got a life. I have a life. And if the pastor's son want to tell me all the tea that's going on in church, I'm definitely got an ear open for that. Because my sister goes to the church too. So church people be having drama and stuff too. But his wife left him, child. And she ended up marrying somebody else, I think within a year or 2 years. And I think she had a baby with her new husband, but she left him. And actually, the pastor's son, The pastor's son has been married for he had 2 wives. Both of his wives left him. So to me, boy, you are a walking red flag. Why would I even? You nosy, but you're scared of your own business getting out. What do you mean I'm scared of my own business getting out? I tell about my homeless journey. And just for that, scared? Scared of what? There's nothing to be scared of. Scared of what? I'm scared of my own business being leaked out. I can have a social life and talk about somebody else if I want to. This is my life. The thing is, me being scared of my business getting put out there, what do you want to know about my business? You just want to know something that I'm not going to tell you. So are you bothered? If I don't want to talk about something, I don't have to. And if you want to go to another channel where people are putting out all their business, you go to that channel. Because I don't have to say a damn thing if I don't feel like it. There you go. Boop. If I want to have a social life and talk to men at my church or whatever, that's my choice. So I could gossip about whatever I want to. This is my channel. This is my YouTube channel, darling. Me can say whatever me want. Me can say whatever me want to say. But really, as far as it comes to other states being affordable, I don't know what other states are affordable. I think everything's pretty much the same around the board. If you move to another state, like some states in the South, they say, oh, it's cheaper to live in the South, but the jobs are cheaper too. The jobs are not paying as much either. But yeah, the pastor's son, I think he suffered from addiction. He suffered from addiction, and I can have a life, and I can talk about whatever I want, because again, like I said, this is my channel, and I don't have a problem with people questioning me about something. If it's something in my life I don't want to talk about, I don't have to. It's nothing legally like binding. I'm not signing like a clause with YouTube to say, oh, you must tell all your business. I don't have to tell anything. The thing is, she's mad because she wants me to tell stuff that I don't want to tell. I don't have to tell things. I don't have to put everything out here right now. I could tell you something that's going on 6 months from now. It's a time and a place for you to tell certain things, because my story, it's going to all come together at some point, and y'all going to really see the pieces that's missing one day. But now is not the time. You ever had something in your life where now is not the time for me to do this? Now's not the time for me to quit the job. Now's not the time for me to go, talk to this man. Now's not the time for me to date, like for my life. Now's not the time for me to just sit here and act like I want to find a man. Now's not the time for me to go put up a profile on a dating site, because my life, I'm broken right now. So what can I give to a man when I'm all screwed up? You know what I'm saying? But I can be interested, and these are men that I know. So if I want to have if I'm having a social life with males, and I want to talk to guys about, hey, what's going on over there at church? If they want to tell me stuff that's happening at church, I'm darn sure going to listen. And they got their own problems. I like to hear about other people's stuff, what they're going through in life. I like to hear other walks of life and what people are going through. I even say that to my roommates, the girls that's in the room with me. I asked them, I'm like, yo, how did you get here? Like, tell me about your story. How did you get here? What happened in your life? I try to interview people. Y'all know people on YouTube interview people, right? But I just can't interview people in the shelter. I mean, I could, but I don't really want to bring that aspect into the shelter right now. But you got people on YouTube that go around to homeless people, and they go to addicts, and they talk about, they go to the drug-ridden areas in cities and stuff. And they talk to addicts, and they ask them, well, how long did you get here? Y'all know the interviews that people be running. Strong white underbelly. They got all these people that go into these impoverished cities, and they talk to the addicts. They talk, how did you get in this situation? How was your childhood? What was your childhood like? I like to know about people's lives too. You have a nice voice, somebody. Thank you. So what you want us to know? Like I said, my channel is predominantly about talking about homelessness right now. And that's it. So whatever else I want to put out there, I will. But some things is not the time right now. Sometimes it's good to tell your story after you have achieved, after you gotten over the hump, right? I'm still in the hump. It's not the beginning, like in the beginning of this 2 years ago. In the beginning of this 2 years ago, when I was really broken and upset and mad and angry and depressed and so suicidal damn near, I didn't talk about none of this. I did record some of it because I know one day I'm going to look at this and say, Dad, 2 years ago, I remember when I was feeling so broken and I was crying every day. I remember this. I remember this. But one day. It depends. You know, I share what I want to share and I don't share what I don't have to share. And that is what it is. Making it over that hump, man. And I'm almost over it. Like I say right now in my life, I'm kind of in the middle of the hump. Because there's a lot, y'all. When I start breaking down these levels of stuff that's going on, I'm going to come back and let y'all know, like, look, I didn't explain this because of this. I didn't talk about this because of that. So it's a lot. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Miss Smith. Lori Smith, how you doing? So it's a lot. No, me and my sister didn't talk. I had to go ask her a question, and she gave me a dirty look. She gave me a dirty look today. And she gave me the look of, why are you over here talking to me? So I didn't say nothing to her. And she gave me a dirty look too because I told you I didn't go to Thanksgiving dinner or anything. So I don't care. I ain't thinking about them. I'm not thinking about them. And I did a really good exercise for myself today to not get upset. And I was breathing. I was doing my breathing exercises. And I really don't care about what family is talking about right now. I'm not thinking about family. I'm really not. I'm learning to exercise my choice in how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning to exercise my choice in how I feel. Like exercise in exercising. My exercise. Like now. I'm learning to control my emotions and stop being so like, oh my God, I can't believe my family did this and my sister, screw them. They don't care. And I have to really start to understand that. They don't care because they're not thinking about me right now. They're not thinking about me right now, and I ain't thinking about them either. But they're not sitting around thinking about why so-and-so did this. They're not thinking about me. They're living their life, you know? They're living their life. And I have to live mine in the homeless shelter. And one day I'll be out of that place. One day I'll be out of that place. She gave me a look of disgust today. She really gave me a look of disgust. She looked at me like, what are you talking to me for? I was like, oh, you freaking heifer. I said, you heifer. I called her a heifer. I called her a heifer. I didn't call her a heifer to her face, though. But in my head, I'm like, you heifer. Y'all know what a heifer is? I think it's a female goat. Is a heifer a female goat? Did you sit behind them? No, because we went to another church today. We were like, we went to a, you know how churches be collaborating with other churches. So we went to the church today. So she was sitting on the other side and I kind of act like I ain't see him. So I ain't say nothing to him. I knew they was over there. You know, you can see somebody on the corner of your eye. I knew they was over there, but I didn't pay them no mind or whatever. So I went over there and asked her something. A heifer's a cow. Okay. But I came over there and asked her something. And I did text her this morning. I said, hey, where's the church at? And she sent me the address. I said, good morning. You know, you always start a text with a good morning or good evening or something like that. Hey, how you doing or whatever. So she just sent me the address to it. But I went over there and asked her something. And she kind of gave me a look like, what are you over here? What are you bothering me for? So I was like, oh, okay. I'm done with you for sure. But I'm good on that. I'm good with the family. You know, I'm okay. Things get better. One day, things will improve. One day, things will get better. One day. I don't talk to anyone if I'm living out of my car. I don't talk to anyone and I'm living out of my car. I lived out of my car too. I know what that feels like, man. I'm glad I'm not living out of my car right now because it's too cold for me. But I've been living out of my car. I do Uber. I don't want to do... I don't know. I keep repeating this. I don't want to do anything that has to do with my car. Like, I have stuff in my car. My car is like my dresser drawer, right? I have my clothes and stuff in here. I don't want to do nothing with my car. I'm going to get a job, but it's not going to be nothing to do with driving. I don't desire to put the miles on my car because I already drive a lot of miles to get back and forth to work. So anything to do with my car, I don't want nothing to do with it. I learned that family not leads you to homelessness ain't worth the spit to talk to. I've learned that family that leads you to homeless ain't worth the spit. Well, they didn't really lead me to homelessness. I got myself in this situation. They know about my homelessness, but I put myself in this situation. So I've taken accountability for it. And I love when people come in. When you talk about, and I noticed that with people, even my sister, when you talk about stuff and you voice your opinion on how you feel about this or that, why is the first thing that people always do is talk about take accountability? I've took accountability for this like 2 years ago. Why does everybody always say take accountability? I've been took accountability for that. Maybe when I have conversations with people and I talk about this, maybe I should just start the video and start things with my family and saying, first of all, I would like everybody to know that I'm accountable for my actions. Maybe that's how I should start the video. Because even people on YouTube will come here and tell me, hold yourself accountable. I've held myself accountable 2 years ago when this stuff first started happening. Maybe she heard you never say it. I shouldn't really need to, I don't have to tell my sister I took accountability. And I have had a conversation with her and we talked about certain things. And I said, I know what happened in my life is all my fault. I know that. So she's have heard me talk about it. So when I say I know this is all my fault and I made mistakes, that is taking accountability, right? You don't understand in 50 years. Understand what? No, I meant to do Uber Eats and stuff. Yeah, I don't want to do nothing that has to do with my car driving because I already put enough miles on my car. If you had a narcissistic family, you'll take the blame. I take the blame for what I've done. And like I said, I'm in this situation due to my own actions. So I'm not in this situation due to my sister's actions or due to the man down the street's actions or the police. Like, I'm in this because of me. You know what I'm saying? And I understand and I get it. But the only but that I have in the rebuttal is I just figure since I have such a big family that somebody would stand forward to try to assist and help me. That's all I'm saying. So, and I see that they don't. And they don't have to either. But it would be nice. You know, it would be a nice gesture. That's all I say. Don't have family, never did. I was abused, neglected as a child. I'm sorry to hear that. Got molested too and homeless by 17. Now 31. No longer talking to my psych incubator mother. I'm sorry you went through that. Man, people have really been through a lot of trauma. And thank God I never experienced much of that in my life. I have experienced like abuse. You know, my mom was very abusive. And my sister was like the oldest, right? So my sister that I talk about now, she's like the oldest. So we always kind of looked at her as like, you know how you look at the oldest sibling in the family. And my sister said some mean things to me that kind of hurt me. She was like, well, I'm not your mother. And I'm just like, damn, you are my sister. But, you know, I see how it is. But she's also my sister, but she's my adopted sister. But she's not my blood. So I see in the family that, like, my family adopted a lot of kids. And when they adopted kids, they adopted us in groups. Like, it was me, my sister, my brother. That was 3. Then my sister that I talk about now, she has 2 other siblings. She is 2 other girls that came with her. So my parents adopted us in groups. So when we came adopted in these groups, the groups kind of group together. Like, it's a group thing. Like, my sister is she'll do more things for her blood sisters than she would do for me because I'm not her blood. So, like, adopted siblings do it too. You know, me being adopted, and I don't think I do it, but, you know, I look at my brother as my brother. I look at him a little differently because he is my blood brother we have the same mother. But I see the cliques even in these families that adopt children. If you come into a family in groups and that's your blood brother and that's your blood sister, the step brother, you're going to look at them kind of a little bit to the left because that's not my brother. But I consider everybody to be my sister, but everybody kind of clicks up with their own blood. My sister that I talk to that go to church, she's more close with her sister that don't go to church because that's her blood sister. So they kind of click up in that type of way. So there was things that she would do for her blood sister that she would never do for me because I see it with my own eyes. But then they want to turn around and try to say we're family. It's only family when it's convenient for you. But, you know, I'm letting it go. It's going. Yeah. And I don't want to wait till I'm 50. I'm almost 50. I'm 45, but I'm okay, man. It is what it is at this point. I don't wish no bad on nobody in my family. They didn't let me stay with them. It is what it is. My mother never taught me anything. Suddenly, I'm an adult, completely lost, and don't take care of myself. Narcissistic parents will intentionally sabotage your growth so you are depended on them. Yeah, my parents are gone. My parents have passed away, but they're my adopted parents, but they're still my parents. You know what I'm saying? I'm 31 and figured it out, but a lot of damage unfortunately always done to people. Yeah, it's a shame. We understand. Yeah. I still love my siblings. I don't look at them like, oh my God, I wish something bad happens to them. Like, it is what it is, man. Because one day when I get myself together, they're going to have it. Somebody going to come around with they're going to need some help, man. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn my back on them. They're going to need some help down the line. But they think that their life is going to be perfect. Somebody going to be tapping on my window for some support at some time. Because, you know, they're going to be looking for some help down the line. And guess what I'm going to be like? I'm like, oh, you need help? Remember when I was at the shelter? Remember when I was at the shelter and y'all all turned my back on me? The tables always turn, honey. My extended family wasn't present in my life. Also, international isolation. Yeah, people don't care. Nobody cares unless they're going through it. You know what I mean? And that's just what I have to learn. Like, nobody cares because they're not going through it. They're not in my shoes. You know, and they look at me like, you put yourself in it, you got to get yourself out. And I understand that too. I get it. I get it. I get it. I did this to myself. And like I said before, I told y'all, like, I don't care if I got to go move into President Trump's White House. I am never going to be homeless again. I go moving with Trump and Melania. I had to go live at the White House. I go live in the White House. I'm not being homeless again. I go move into the White House with the Secret Service. I'm just not going to go through this again. Like, I'm never going to mess up again because I know I have no support. I know I have no family. I have no family unit like that. You know, it's just not available. It's not there. Hi, I just joined. I caught the last few minutes and now I have a better understanding of your family dynamic. Yes, it's messy, but I still love them. I still love them. Yeah, they're not my blood sisters, but they're my sisters. So I've been with them since, well, my parents adopted me when I was 3. My parents adopted me when I was 3. My sister was 4, and then my brother was 2. So they adopted us first. Then my sister that is in church, with the one I talk about at church, she's not my blood sister, but she's my sister from adoption and stuff like that. So she's not my blood, but she'll do more for her blood siblings than she would do for me. So I noticed those dynamics. You know, it's kind of like, well, that's my blood sister, so I'm going to do more for her. So everybody kind of teams up to help their own blood sister first anyway. They're going to help their next of kin. Even in adopted scenarios, when kids are adopted and they get into a big family, it's always that they first of all, people treat adopted children like garbage anyway. Like, it's our fault that we got put up for adoption. You know what I'm saying? So I've been through the ringer, man, with family and growing up inside an adopted family. That was hell in itself. My mom was abusive, and my mom had her grandchildren that her original daughter had. Like, my adopted mother she had one daughter, and her daughter hated us. She hated the fact that my mom adopted kids, and we had to fight with her. She was so mean to us, abusive to us. She was a mean person. But we were like, as kids, like, we're adopted. You know, a kid don't put themselves up for adoption. You know what I'm saying? So I've been through a lot of stuff with the kid dynamic. And I remember when I was younger, I would always say, I'm going to adopt a child to give back. But nothing ever happened. But we've been through a lot. But thank God I've been through abuse, but I've never been through like any SA, like sexual stuff. Thank God for that. But my sister she's a gaslighter, you know what I mean? But everybody in the family respects my sister because she's like the oldest, you know? So they all have a level of respect for her. But to turn around and treat me like crap, that's crazy. This is not fair. But like I said, the shoe gonna be on the other foot one day, man. They gonna turn around and need me for something. That's what God is revealing to me. Like, girl, they gonna turn around and need you for something, honey. They're gonna be turning around knocking on your door. They're gonna knock on your door. They're gonna be knocking, asking for a job. That's what the future is gonna hold. They're gonna be coming asking me for something one day. I hope it gets better for me. It will. It's getting better every day. They're nuns and priests too. Oh, hi, after 57 years. I kind of figured that wasn't your blood sister. Yeah, she's not my blood sister, but I still look at her as my sister. Like, I still love all of them, but they're just not. And this is the first time in my life that I've ever had to, like, ask for help And they always know, like, I've always had my stuff together. I always had apartments. I always had cars. I always had money. I never had to ask nobody for a damn thing because I'm not the type of person to ask for nothing. So if I ask for something, sis, you know I need it, you know? If I ask for something, you know I need it. So it just is what it is at this point. One day. It does suck though, but not much I can do about it. And I think she poisons the family against me. I think she poisons my sister, my other sisters against me and all that stuff. So I just lay low and mind my business and just go day to day. And that's all I could really do. And that's all I can do. Like I said, this was the first time in my life that I've ever cried out for help. Like help with help with housing. That's all I needed was a place. But they all just said, screw you. So it is what it is. Such is life. Like they say, such is life. I'm sorry for your experience. Yeah, my parents was abusive, but it's okay. It looks like you did the work to heal and have a very strong mindset. Yeah. I think my dad would always say, oh, well, you know, your mom was abused. And I'm like, Dad, there's no excuse for you to be, for a mom to call her kids names and, you know, do all these evil things. And my sisters and them know. They don't really acknowledge it too much. My mom was abusive. My mom was freaking abusive. But my dad would say, oh, well, you know, she was abused by one of her boyfriends. I'm like, okay, Dad, you're a grown man telling a child that that's okay? You're a grown man taking up for your wife and saying that, oh, it's okay because, you know, her boyfriend beat her up. So, you know, that's why she was such a bitch. Like, come on. I'm looking at my dad like, dude, what? You sound crazy taking up for her. She's an abusive person. There's no reason for abuse. I don't care what happened to you in your life. You, as an adult, you know better. You know right from wrong. I don't care. Let's stop. Oh, well, this happened to me when I was a kid. Oh, this happened to me when I was a kid. So it's only right that I do it to the next person. Like, that's so stupid. I would never. If you ask for something, they'll probably hold it over your head, or that's just what I've experienced. Yeah. And the funny thing was, this whole experience, I've never asked not one person, can I stay with you? They knew. So I never asked them, could I live with you? But they know I have a need because they know I'm homeless. So they never offered. I think I did ask my brother. And he was like, oh, I'll call you back. Never got that phone call back. And so I'm still waiting for that phone call from my brother to see if he's going to let me live with him. And I think I know the answer because it's been like 6 months now. So he's still 6 months later. He hasn't answered the question if I can come and live with him or not. Narcissists usually pick other narcissists to marry, or people who are empathetic to exploit their empathy and use. Yeah, flying monkey. That is right. Was it awkward if you saw your sister at church? No, I just act like I didn't see her. I didn't care. It was so many people in there. I wasn't looking in her direction, but then I saw her out of the corner of my eyes. I was like, oh, they over there. But man, I ain't thinking about my sister. I'm still going to go to my church because I like my church. You know what I'm saying? I love my church. I love the first lady. I like my church. I like the energy. I just ain't crazy about my sister, but I could be I could be around my sister and not pay her no mind. I don't care. Yes, boo. It's like they all read the textbook on how to be a narcissist. It wasn't too awkward. I went over there and said something to her. Next one, she looked at me with disgust in her eyes. She looked at me like, what? You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. I already know. The thing is, I already know they don't like me, and that's fine. I still got life to live, you know? And Thanksgiving came and went. Thanksgiving went by fast, and I'm glad it's over. The day of Thanksgiving, I went and got some coffee, and I went to the park. I stayed at the park for hours until it was time for me to go back to the shelter. That was okay. A few times I felt like, I feel lonely sometimes. Sometimes I do feel lonely and stuff, but I turn on my YouTube channel and I talk to my friends. I turn on YouTube and I express my feelings and I talk about stuff, and, I work on my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? I look at that. I'm like, hey, sis, you don't want to talk? I'm cool. You don't want to talk, I'm cool. That's why some people talk on social media. Social media is an atmosphere where people can talk to others. You know what I'm saying? There's people available that's going to listen, you know? There's people available that's going to talk. And, you know, if you want to ever talk, and social media is a good platform if you are, like, you know, you're going through something and you want to bring it to light and you want to talk about, hey, I'm struggling with this. You know, you're not going to always get great feedback from people because some people are going to just disrespect you and stuff like that. That happens too. But for the most part, social media has been a great platform for me to talk about my experience, you know? Yeah, she finally showed her true colors. They was probably only acting that way with you when your mom and dad was alive. Yeah, my sister was like, she's the older one, so she was kind of in my mom's pocket. You know, my mom had her as like the second mom. So she kind of act like my mom a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? And I think my sister has her own tendencies of being abusive to her kids. Because she was all, my sister, she was talking about her kids. She got a daughter that's, I think her daughter's in her late 30s. And then she has a son that's in his 30s. I think late 20s, early 30s. So she has adult kids that live at her house as well. And she was always saying like, oh, I remember one time my kids did this and I went home and I beat them. And she just said it like it wasn't nothing. I said, wow, you sound like mom. You sound like a very abusive person. You sound abusive. And I'm not saying that kids don't need spankings. I do believe in spanking the child, you know. I believe in that. But when you're abusing them, it's different than from a spanking versus just beating the crap out of them. Just to keep them how you want them to be. So she was like, oh, I know my daughter always grew up scared of me. So I said, you're okay with your kids being afraid of you? I would never want my kids to be scared of me. For you think that's a flex when you say that your kid is scared of you? Like you feel like a big person in society? Well, my kids are scared of me. That's great. I don't think that's good. My mother used to joke about me hiding bodies and being a serial killer, which is also projection. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, they say that like it's normal. They wear a mask. Yeah, people are sick. I be watching videos of this woman. She lives in the mountains of Maine. And she lives off-grid. She's retired. And she does YouTube. And she goes on YouTube every day and talk about her life, you know, in the mountains with her 2 dogs. And she's by herself. And I was like, I would love to leave society and just go off and do my own thing because I don't have a family. And this lady also talks about her family, and her mom had passed away and she went through a lot of trauma too. She's a white woman and I follow her channel. She lives off grid and she has a cabin in the mountains, and she talked about how she got the cabin and how she was broke. And she said she's so peaceful up there with her dogs in the mountains, and it's just her and her dogs, and she's fine that way. And I love watching videos like that because if I could leave society, if I had money, I would leave too. I would go buy me a nice little cabin in the woods, learn how to live off the land, get somebody to help me learn how to cut firewood and, you know, figure out how to live off the land, get me some chickens. I watch a lot of people that live off grid and I love that lifestyle. No, they don't, boo. I'd be scared of your mom too. Maybe she's wanting to blame you if they find the bodies. Oh God, people are sick. People are sick. And the sad part is all these people that are so sick are the people that's close to us, you know? Those are the sick ones. Gotta watch out. Well, you were the bigger person by speaking to her first. That definitely the godly thing to do so you have a clean conscience. Yeah, I ain't think about my sister, man. She can kick rocks. She the one that got to sit there and worry about her husband cheating on her. She's so busy worrying about her husband because, you know, her husband was a cheater, right? So years ago, her husband cheated on her. I personally don't know how many times he's cheated on her. I don't know, but I know he cheated on her. So she prayed to God that, you know, God keeps him away from other women, which is totally ridiculous, right? But I was like, you know, are you still praying for God to keep your husband at home, girl? She know that husband ain't, she know her husband ain't worth 2 cents. You know he ain't worth 2 cents. He just got a good job. Yeah. I try to be the bigger person. But sometimes when I go home, when I go to the shelter and I lay in bed and I be in my head and I'm thinking about, damn, I can't believe tomorrow I might wake up feeling like crap, you know. and tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow is a new day, and every day is just something new or different going on. And I feel like when I'm out here that I'm just completely alone. You know, I have no family support, and you know, I don't have a sister that I can call, but I can open up my YouTube and talk to people in YouTube land. You know, so you're never alone. Social media can heal a multitude, man. It really can have you feeling like I can get through this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do have a team. I do have people that support me, and people that want to see me win, and people that are here beside me and trying to help me help myself. You know what I'm saying? Even if somebody don't give me anything, they don't have to give me anything. Just having moral support. I wish I could get the moral support from my family, from my sister, from my other sister, from this brother. You know, I wish I could have that, but I just don't have it. And it sucks that somebody should have to feel like so alone when they have such a big family. She needs to do what HR do best, is fire her. And she's an HR person, so she definitely has that HR background. The way she leads her life, she thinks we're all like her employees or something. Like, girl, you ain't my HR person. You can't fire me. And I think she's been in her job for a while, so she probably makes good money. I think her husband makes good money, so them together, they're good. But he's a cheater, you know, so she's staying in church and praying to God, waving her hands back and forth so he don't find him another woman. And I said, girl, please, if y'all saw what her husband looked like, y'all be like, girl, you see what my sister look like, you know she could do way better than that. Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay, y'all. I get through this every day. I'm good. I just share, you know, and I know people get bored of me talking about, but hey, this is my life, and I'm going to share. I don't always talk about homelessness, though. Sometimes I talk about dating, and, you know, I talk about whatever. Talk about these guys, these homeless men that try to talk to me, and the homeless dude, he's an alcoholic, but he did tell me that he was an alcoholic, and he said he lost his business. He had a good HVAC business, right? And y'all know HVAC. If you get into HVAC, he had licenses, refrigeration this, refrigeration that, but he lost his HVAC. He still got his license, actually, but he got a DUI, his second DUI in his whole life. He went to jail. I think he did like 6 months in jail. So I know he said he got a DUI when he was 21. And then he got another DUI. So that's telling me from 21 all the way until your age now that you have a problem with alcohol. And I talked to him the other day. He called me and he was sounding like, y'all know when y'all talking on the phone to somebody that was drinking, you know what they sound like, right? They got slurred speech. They talking crazy sometimes. They're talking like, you know, very paranoid. Oh no. And he was talking to the people that was around him more than he was on the phone talking to me. So I said something to him, and I was like, you know, we talk on a friendly tip. It has nothing to do with anything romance. No romance is happening there because you're not even together, buddy. But he was talking to everybody that was around him, all these other guys that he was around. He talking to them and not having a conversation with me. So I was like, yo, I said, are you drunk? No, lying. So, of course, today he calls me. He was like, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm okay. I said, yeah, so the other day you were drunk and you told me that you wasn't drunk. And then he paused. He was trying to act like he didn't hear me. So I was like, listen, man, I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your wife. If you got an alcohol problem, you need to go to rehab and fix that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to say anything to me. You don't got to tell me nothing. That's not my life. That's your life. But I said, if you had all these HVAC, he had a good job. I do believe that he made a lot of money. He was like, oh, I used to make good money on my HVAC, but my wife, you know, she was robbing me. I said, she was robbing you because you have an alcohol addiction. You have an alcohol problem. So you have to fix that first. You're not gonna get back into your business, buddy. And I had to tell him, I said, listen, you're not gonna get back into your HVAC business or anything. Look at you. You still have an alcohol addiction, and you lost your driver's license for 6 years. You went to jail for 6 months. You lost your driver's license. Now you got a DUI. So that is telling me that you have an alcohol addiction. You need to get help for that. You need to get help for that. All alcoholics are sad until they take your money. Yeah. He's an alcoholic, and he gonna tell me the other day when I was talking to him, I was like, "Are you drunk right now?" "Oh no, I'm not drunk. No, I'm not drunk. I just I was up all day. I'm just tired." And so he called me today, and I'm just like, yeah, you were drunk the other day, and you're going to sit here and lie to me? So he finally said, oh, yeah, I was drunk. I said, I know you were. I could tell by the way you talk. I could tell by the way you talk. But I don't know what it's like to have an addiction. He's blaming the wife. Yeah, he's blaming his wife for robbing him. And I do believe she probably did rob him. I do believe that she robbed him, but you are the alcoholic, so you're the one that have to change your behavior so that you can get, he messed up his life. He lost his driver's license. I said, well, if you do your HVAC business again, what are you going to do? Since you don't have a car, you don't have, you got your driver's license taken away. So he was like, oh, when you get a DUI or whatever, they do have something called, you can have a license just to probably get back and forth to work. But I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, he was blaming his wife. And I said, well, you're really to blame because, you were the one letting her pump you up with alcohol while she was robbing you blind. And then he was like, oh, my accountant. And then sometimes with stories, you don't never know what's true, right? You just don't never know. But I entertain the conversation to have, we talk, and he be helping me sometimes with my car. Like, he filled up my tires the other day. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate it. She robbed him to pay the rent. Probably. No, but he said he had an HVAC business, but he was making really good money, and you can make a lot of good money in HVAC. He said he had a lot of customers, so he said he was paying all the bills. He said he paid all the bills in the house, and his wife had a job too. So that's what he told me. So, I mean, I don't know what's true, but I kind of believe him. I don't think that he would sit here and fabricate anything like that. I believe he probably was the head of his household. He paid the bills. He had an HVAC business. I've seen all his licenses. He was like, all my licenses are still active and they're still good. But I was like, well, how are you going to get back out there in your business? Well, he got health problems too. So he got some health problems he's battling. And I said, well, the first thing you need to handle is your alcohol addiction. You have to handle that first before you do anything, brother. Like, you have to get that alcohol stuff straightened up because the alcohol already damaged so much of your life. It already took away a lot of stuff in your life. I know, right? A wife can't rob. Well, he said she was taking his money, so I don't know. That's what he said. He said, I used to go to sleep. I used to get passed out from drinking. And I'm like, oh, I thought I had $200 in my pocket. And I wake up and the money's gone. So, but see, the thing was, she had a job and he was providing because he said he was paying all the bills. And he seems like the man, he does seem like that type of provider type of man. Like some men literally pay all the bills in their household and they don't ask their wife for nothing, even if the wife has like another job. But some men pay bills and they might tell the wife, hey, you just take care of, maybe you just pay the car insurance or to get all the groceries in the house. Everybody has a responsibility in the household. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he got health problems right now too. He's telling me, oh, I gotta go see this. I got numbness here. And I think he had strokes. Like, he got some serious stuff going on. So I was like, you got to see what's up with your health. But I said, brother, the first thing it starts with is you putting that alcohol down. Because if you don't put that alcohol down, man, you're gonna keep finding yourself in this dark hole. I keep trying to help him, like saying, do you like your life the way it is right now? Do you like what your life is looking like? And I'm not talking to him like downing him, because look at me. I'm in a homeless shelter. So I'm not better than anybody, but I try to help him a little bit and say, listen, do you like what your life is like right now? Do you like who you see in the mirror? When you look in the mirror every day, do you like what you see? Are you comfortable with who you are right now? You can't possibly be, because you're still drinking. So you have to first acknowledge, like, I have a problem. But when he lied to me, and I said, well, you lied to me because I know you was drinking, but you lied to me. I was like, why did you lie to me? He was like, oh, I was embarrassed. Embarrassed? I don't think he's still married. I don't think he's still married to her. But he was telling me that she was an alcoholic too. So I don't know what the heck. I don't know what to believe. But, he's a cool guy. But, I just like to hear his story. He's a cool person. But really, he can't do nothing for me. And I can't do anything for him. So, and he's definitely not getting nothing from me. Like, anything in the smacks. He's not getting any smacks or anything from me. Sorry, a woman is not going to even get aroused by a man that can't do anything for her. So that's not going to happen. But I don't think he's married. I think he is divorced. He did say he divorced her. And I do believe that he is divorced, because I think I looked at his Facebook and it does say divorced. So But it didn't matter if he was still married or not. I'm not interested in him in that way because, like I said, his life is in shambles right now. There's nothing like this man couldn't take me on a date even if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? It would be just, he can't do anything for me. So even if it was like a sexual thing, I'm sorry, I can't lay with a man that can't give me something. Like, there has to be an exchange. Like, you know, we like to go on dates and we like to be wined and dined, and you know, you don't have to take me to no 5-star 10-star restaurant, but we know we like to go out and dance and just do things and enjoy each other's time. But as to see his divorce paper, I don't care if he's divorced or not, to be honest. I think he is, but I don't care. I really don't care because, like I said, his life is a mess right now, and he's trying to get his life back together, and so am I. And there's nothing there. He couldn't even take me on a dinner date at Applebee's if he wanted to because he can't afford it. But I told him, I said, you gotta put them cigarettes down, man. The cigarettes are no good for you. You're still drinking. And I said, man, you're gonna find yourself on dialysis, brother. You don't want to start having kidney failure because that's no fun. That's hard. Alcohol is a serious disease. He would need to do the work and yeah. He says he's in like rehab. I think he's in a like an outpatient rehab, but it's not helping him because he's still drinking. You know what I'm saying? So I said, well, you have to keep fighting that, man. And I don't know what it is to be an alcoholic, but I did date. There was another guy, and we weren't dating. We were like talking. You know, he was an alcoholic, and I got with him a few times. Like one day, and he was like, "Oh, I'm over here. Can you come by and see me? I want to see you. I want to see you." And this guy was pissy drunk. He was a pissy drunk alcoholic, bloodshot eyes. Girl, I left him right there and left. I was like, no, women don't want no man that got alcohol addictions. We're not getting turned on by that, first of all. I'm enabling? How am I enabling? I'm enabling him? How am I doing that? What am I doing to enable? I know alcoholics are just dangerous to hang around. Are they? I mean, he called me every couple of days or so. But sometimes he acts like he wants to be my boyfriend. And I'm just like, boyfriend? Like, we shouldn't even be thinking about that. You have to think about, get yourself cleaned up, man. Get yourself cleaned up. You have to get your life in order. As well as myself, you know. He has to get his life in order, and so do I. So I have a long way to go. They bring drama to your doorstep. Well, if I had a doorstep. If I had a doorstep. Yeah, I'm just not, you know. I talk to him every couple of days or so, but I'm not I can't be in a relationship with someone who's broken. Because look at me, I'm broken too. I'm not going to get anywhere by messing with that. There's nothing, like, he has nothing to give me, nothing to offer. Like, it's like nothing. So, but he did say, oh, I want to be in a relationship with you. I said, looking at him like a relationship. What? What are you talking about? You can't even take care of yourself at this point. I feel like I got a headache, y'all. I gotta go to the eye doctor. Well, not the eye doctor, but I need to go to urgent care tomorrow because I think I have, what do you call it? My eyes are always red and they got some stuff coming out of them. Conjunctivitis. I think I have conjunctivitis in my eyes. And tomorrow I need to go get me some eye drops. Conjunctivitis. I hope I don't have a chore tonight when I get there. Sometimes I go to the shelter and I be so tired, like, yo. And then the girl, when I go in the room, she be wanting to talk. She just be chit-chatting, right? The white chick. She's cool, though, you know what I mean? But she got a story, too, and I asked her about her story. She was like, yeah, you know, she was like, my husband died, and I think she said her husband was an addict. I think she said he had a problem with addiction, and this is mostly people's stories that I'm hearing. This addiction stuff. This addiction stuff has been just a big thing, you know. The addiction has been sweeping this world by storm because I just pray that I'm prayerful and thankful to God that I've never got into addiction. And I know how easy it is to slip into that because when I was pregnant and I had a C-section, they put me on Percocets. And then Percocets had me up there scratching, itching, but I felt nice. So I see how people can get addicted to these things. I see. Because I've been on Percocets before in pain, and people get those feelings and they want to feel it, feel it, feel it. They want to keep feeling that feeling. I've been there before. I see how people can get addicted. Stay strong. I am. Thank you. I always will. Every day is a new day for me. So a new start, a fresh. Tomorrow's a Monday. My last day off. So, but like I said, 2026 is going to be my year for restoration. I'm going to find something, you know, even if it's an extended stay hotel, I'm going to find home again, and I'm going to make it through this. You know what I'm saying? This is only just a little time in my life that I have to just keep on basically getting it out the mud. Basically getting it out the mud. But these guys, I keep them around because, you know, they be telling me stuff. They be helping me. Like the one guy, the alcoholic, the one that they're talking about his wife and stuff. He be helping me with my car. Like, he'll be like, oh, let me check the oil for you. Like, I said, thank you. He do little things for me, help me with my car. He fixed something in my car the other day, and he's going to fix that. So he be around helping me with stuff, but I don't ever see us in a relationship because, listen, you need to provide, man. You need to provide. You need to provide shelter for me first, and then we'll talk. You need to provide shelter for me. You need to get your HVAC business started again, and we can talk about some things. But nah, I think he's a good guy. He's just trapped in his addiction and he needs help to get out. And I said, well, I can't help you guide. I can't guide you through the addiction. You have to want to do that for yourself. Somebody said it could be conjunctivitis. Is conjunctivitis pink eye too? It's just one of my eyes are like red, and it do be having like little puffy things, pussy stuff coming out here and there. But it do be red. So I know I need eye drops. So I do need to go to the doctor or something tomorrow to get me some eye drops for it. Because I don't like to go into work and have like one red eye. They're going to be thinking like, is she smoking weed? And I don't smoke weed, so. But it's just really in one eye. That's another thing. Being homeless, living in a shelter, and if you come down with any health issues, sometimes that could be a problem for people. Like, being sick in the shelter sucks because, like I said, the girls be coughing all over the place. I know they're coughing because they're cigarette smokers and stuff like that. With a girl that's still on the top bunk, she's a cigarette smoker, and she be having these bad coughs. And I hate when they cough because I'm thinking like, sis, I know you're not covering your mouth. It doesn't sound like you're covering your mouth. So I be feeling like germs are flying all over the room. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow I can go to like I'll just probably end up making an appointment. It's just so much that I need to do. I'm so overwhelmed with stuff. I have things that I need to do in December. And it's just a lot of stuff that I have to do. And a lot of things are happening. And I don't share everything. So I don't have to. I share what I want to share. Lots of germs. Yeah, girl, I said, oh, my day off, I'm going to go to the shelter and get some pine sol and bleach and put it in the thing and start wiping everything down. But the girl coughed so damn much, and I need to wipe it. I wipe the stuff down on my bed. I wipe my bed down. Wipe my bed, wipe the wall where I sleep at or whatever, and just wipe it down with some bleach and pine sol. But I'm probably going to be getting off here soon because I'm actually tired. I'm like here dozing off myself. I'm dozing off. Then I got to get back to work on Tuesday for the drama over there. Then when I go to work, I feel like when I get off work, I'll be like, yo, them people in there get on my damn nerves so bad. The stuff that goes on at work, I just be like, damn, you can't get away from the bull crap. It's like you can't get away from it. Yeah, it's just germs flying all over the place. And I hate it because I can't really clean it properly. Yeah, I'm feeling sleepy. I feel like I want to just go to sleep. I just want to go to sleep, 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 sleep. I just want to go to sleep. I'm very excited about tomorrow. Go get me some coffee early in the morning. Go work out and do what I got to do. I do the same thing every day, so nothing's different over here. That's why when I talk to the guys, I be happy to talk to them. Because I be like, I don't have nobody else to talk to. You know what I'm saying? They be calling me with stuff, and I'm like, yeah, what's going on, man? Tell me about it. But the homeless dude can help me with stuff because he homeless too. So when he knows some resources, he tells me about stuff. He was like, oh yeah, you should go put an application over here. He be helping me with things. So I be appreciating that. Yeah, it's an escape from the shelter life. I could talk to the guys and they're not getting nothing from me. So I'm not giving them no money and they're not getting no cuckoo. So I just be like, okay, let's talk. What's going on in your life? So, and I go to church, that's an escape for me. I talk to the guy at church, and we're not talking on that level as like a relationship thing, but he be telling me stuff about his life, and I can relate to. Well, I can't relate, but he's in recovery. He was like, oh, I went to recovery and I stayed in there for a couple of months, and my wife left me and all this stuff. I said, well, women don't want to be, especially a woman that just not doing no drugs, brother. Don't no woman, and I'm a woman that don't do nothing. I casually have a drink here and there, like some wine or something light, I can't even mess with a hangover. I don't even like, hangovers make me want to just jump off a bridge. So, a woman don't want no man that's dabbling with drugs. Ain't no woman gonna stand by no man that's messing around with drugs and alcohol. First of all, I can't stand to see you high. I don't want to see that. Like, I don't do it. I don't want to be with nobody. That's your addiction. You better fight it. And if you don't want to get clean, don't come looking my way. Don't come over here looking. It's an escape. Yeah, it's an escape from the shelter to have somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? It's an escape from the shelter because sometimes you see these men and you just be like, you got the freaking nerve. And it's crazy because I know him because I went to high school with him. Because he noticed me at the shelter. He was like, so-and-so. He said my name, and I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? He was like, oh, yeah, I'm in this place. And he was, he got a lot of stuff going on in his life. And I'm like, you have to fight that addiction first, bro. You're not going to get nowhere. And you going to a doctor, like, he's always like, oh, I got all these health problems and everything. And I would say, well, the root of the problem with the health problems is probably because you're still drinking. Like, have you ever thought about that? You ever thought about the fact that your health is probably going awry is because you are still drinking? Like, put down that freaking alcohol and clean yourself up. Or I told him, I said, you're going to die in your addiction, bro. A woman that has standards will not be attracted to that. Yeah. Wearing a mask, I'll be sitting here like can't breathe. Wearing a mask ain't gonna help me. I'm about to shut this off in a little bit. I'm gonna shut it off in a little bit because I think when I get back to the shelter, I think it's my night to do chore. I have to do a chore tonight. I hope I don't. I hope I read the calendar wrong. But I gotta go do a chore tonight, so I'm gonna head back in a little while. I'm gonna head back to the shelter because I think the kids go to bed at like 8 o'clock, so that's good. Yeah, and I'm not no desperate woman. I'm not desperate. Definitely not desperate for a man that's dabbling with alcohol or drugs. Because I told him, I said, you were drunk the other day. He was like, oh, no, I wasn't. I'm like, yes, you were. I said, shut up, you were. Stop lying. He was like, oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. I was. I said, I know that. But I told him it first starts, you got an addiction problem. You have to clean yourself up from that. I mean, you got all these health problems, but you're still drinking. So I said, you got to put the liquor down, buddy. But I'm going to go, y'all. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for watching me. I'm going to head back to my plantation. I will talk to y'all in the morning. I'm sorry. How about putting a little clear sheet over your bed to shield you from the germs? I wish I could, but I'm on the top bunk. And there's really no way for me to have a clear sheet up. I wish I could. But the girl that's up there doing all that coughing, I know it's a cough from like cigarette smoking. But she don't seem to care. Like, because I go back to the shelter and she'll be talkative to me. I'll be talking to the guy, like my guy friends, right? I'll talk to them because it's like, okay, I don't have nobody else to talk to right now. So let's talk. What's going on in your life? Like, talk to me. So when I come into the shelter, this white chick want to talk to me because she's been trapped at the shelter all day and she probably ain't really been talking to nobody. So when I come in, she'll be like, hey, how was your day? I said, I had a good day. Good night. I will sleep well. I always sleep good in the shelter. That woman has standards. How about putting up? But yeah, so the girl in the shelter, she be wanting to talk to me because she's been trapped in the shelter all day. So when I come in, she'll be talking. And I'll talk to her for a little bit. And then I'll probably just doze off eventually and go to sleep. But it seems like she makes it sleeping before me. And I'll be looking at her like, sis, ain't y'all bored sitting around here? I'm like, ain't y'all bored sitting around here all day? I guess that's why she was trying to get me to like, oh, can I hang out with you sometime? I'm like, no. I said, I work every day. I don't hang out with people at the shelter, honey. No, ma'am. And I didn't say it to her like that, but, you know, I was like, sis, I don't hang out at this shelter, you know. I be working. She was like, well, what are your hours? I'm like, don't you worry about all that. Just know I work. You know what I mean? Just know I work for a living. Good night, guys. I'm about to cut off in a few minutes. But I'll talk to y'all guys tomorrow. I'll be go live every day. So if you guys are new here, 24 people watching me, I hope everybody gave me a thumbs up by now. I appreciate the conversations. Thank you, guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, okay? I'm live every day. I go live every day. You guys have an awesome night, okay? Bye. Good night.